Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land, and welcome to DC Fans United. So today I'm joined by two special guests, and we're going to be having two more joining us here. They're just running a little bit late. We didn't want to keep everyone waiting, so figured I'd go ahead and start the show. So we are having the Down Under stream, where I'm joined by Aussies who are comic book fans. So I got my good friend Alex with me here. How you doing tonight, Alex?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. So you ready to talk about comics?
I am. I'm always ready.
You came prepared?
I am. I have my notes.
Oh, you got notes. So you're more prepared than I am. That's good. I like that. All right. And then we also have hard copy. How you doing today, sir?
Hey, not too bad. I didn't bring any notes. So
Oh.
I didn't think
Well,
we
you
actually
can
had
copy off of Alex.
He's just got pictures of naked women.
Oh, well, so much
Yeah,
the better then.
I've only got one dot point, to be honest.
Boobies.
We'll have to screen share Alex then if that's the case. He's got the good stuff.
It's just all Wonder Woman.
But no, yeah. Well, that fits the theme. But yeah, we're going to be talking about our favorite comics from this year, starting off. So let's see. Hard copy, what did you have in mind?
Well, we'll start with DC. I've been really digging the Justice League, Drowned Earth, and all that. I really like that. I know it's probably Snyder over the top, kind of not well written, as everybody seems to complain about. Snyder, that's how you say his name, Snyder. But I really enjoy it, and it's good to see Justice League actually fighting. Well, just generally superheroes fighting super villains, and Lex Luthor's plan's pretty good. I mean, if you guys haven't read it, I don't want to spoil anything, so I highly recommend the Justice League run, Drowned Earth. And the only thing is that it has a lot of spin-offs. Like you don't have to get the Wonder Woman and the Aquaman, but if you love Aquaman and Wonder Woman, then it's not too much of a problem. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the Justice League run, Snyder's run on Justice League. Drowned Earth was and Lex Luthor's plan's pretty cool. So it's a little hard to get to understand. But if you read it, you'll like it. That's my opinion on it anyway.
That's cool. Was that a 2-issue thing?
I know it's been going for about 4 or 5 issues. So
Drowned Earth has?
Well, Drowned Earth has gone for 3, but it connects to Justice League. Like it's Justice League Drowned Earth. So
okay, that's the story arc.
Yeah, Lex Luthor has helped unleash these 3 former gods who were trapped by Poseidon. Is that right? That's the goddess there. That's the goddess sea. And they're on a revenge against Poseidon and the Earth, because they were good gods, but they got trapped because Poseidon was a huge dick back in the day. And so they decided to destroy the Earth once they got free. And Aquaman and Mera and all that are working to defeat them. But at the same time, Lex Luthor's got a bigger plan, which was the previous, I can't remember what it was. He had a doorknob and he was trying to, because the Force World got destroyed and there was things coming out that shouldn't be coming out. And Lex Luthor wants to control that. And also Justice League Dark is pretty good too. It doesn't go at the same time. Like, they're not like concurring. But it's still pretty cool. And it's good to see, was it Detective Chimp come back? Because it's a character I like from 52 and I haven't seen him around for a while. So
yeah, I saw they had Detective Chimp. It's a pretty cool team.
Yeah. And it's good to see them.
You don't see.
Yeah, and they introduced a new villain, which they kind of killed off pretty much at the start. But it's good to see superheroes fighting supervillains, which honestly I haven't seen for a little while in comics.
Yeah, they're usually fighting among themselves, huh?
Yeah, and it's kind of annoying.
Oh, Detective Chimp.
So I saw...
Sorry.
I had no idea who Detective Chimp was, and then when I looked him up on Google, he's an actual Detective Chimp.
Yep.
Yeah, He is literally a detective chimp. He's like dressed like Sherlock Holmes and everything.
That's pretty sweet.
He's one of those characters you don't expect. But yeah, on that drowned Earth, why does Superman have an eye patch? That's what I wanted to know.
That's a good point. So I'm just going.
Do they give an explanation, or they're just like
Lex Luthor?
Just nautical themed. Lex Luthor stabbed his eye.
Where is it?
We'll see if anyone in the chat know. I've just seen pictures of it, so I don't know.
It might be coming up.
I was wondering why there was a pirate.
Sorry, my mum's been going through my comics. So yes, my mum. So they're kind of all over the place.
Okay. Well, if you don't know offhand, it doesn't really matter. I was just wondering. I mean, it seemed like something that would be a pretty big plot point. Superman's missing an eye, but whatever. They just gloss over that, I guess. Kind of a big deal, but whatever.
Whatever.
Anyway,
I think it's Alex. Sorry.
I really like the art style for this, for all the panels on this, on Justice League.
Yeah, it's like
dark
I think it's
or drowned.
Do you know who the artist is?
Justice League or Justice League Dark?
Justice League, the first one you mentioned. Sorry.
Irving.
Irving.
That's what I'm reading from the front of cover. But yeah, it's pretty nice artwork.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the art's always a big deal for me. If the art's not good, I can't deal with it. Even if the writing's really good, I'll just nope.
Although it does have a weird painted bit.
Yeah, I've heard good.
So anyway,
that could be cool.
My rant about Justice League. I covered the big one.
Yeah, that's a good choice. I've only got the first issue for that. Justice League #1 when they rebooted it not too long ago, or started this new run. I thought that was a pretty good issue.
And the Justice League Dark is pretty
so Alex.
Too. Sorry,
you're all excited. Hard copy.
Sorry, go.
Keep jumping in. No, it's cool. So, which book did you want to talk about, Alex?
So my favorite 2018 DC comic I picked was Super Sons of Tomorrow. It's a novel, but I thought it was pretty cool. Where like Tim Drake goes back.
Okay, you want to tell us about it?
Yeah. So Tim Drake goes back in time to basically kill Superboy, and I thought it was very compelling, like the way that Damian Wayne and Superboy try like kind of connect over the whole experience, if you know what I mean, because it goes against what Damian Wayne's about in the story. It was pretty good. It was a bit of a surprise when you see I think his name's Connor Kent, and I'm not too sure, and Wally West as well.
Yeah,
because they're I think
interesting. So
and it was a bit like a cool like brain, like a different
so what you
sorry
so what you read is the collected works here. It had Super Sons number 11 and 12, Superman 37 and 38, and Teen Titans number 15 collected into one.
Yeah,
okay, that's interesting, because I hadn't heard of Super Sons Tomorrow. I was like, what? But yeah, Super Sons is really great.
Yeah, no, I was having a look at Adventures of Super Sons, and with the weird kid versions of the villains, and then they, it was a bit of a trippy one until they actually explained who they were.
Yeah, that's the current run, Super Son Adventures.
Yeah.
And the last Super Sons they canceled.
Yeah, I'm still mad about that.
Yeah.
Better watch your.
That was really surprising.
Better watch your back benders. I know he has nothing to do with it, but he still has to watch his back.
Oh yeah, absolutely has tons to do with it. They canceled it to make way for Bendis.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. You know, he's definitely got to be watching his back.
Yeah. Yep, that was all Bendis. They had to get him out of the way so he could wreck the Superman lore.
Is that for the new 52 stuff?
Rebirth,
Uh,
the current comics.
oh, right, yeah, sorry.
It's all good. I didn't
Super
think New 52 was as bad as people make it out to be.
I just remember
I
the
like
old
the
52 was really good.
Oh yeah, 52 was amazing. It's one of the best runs.
Yeah, you had Grant Morrison and Mark Waid, and a bunch of other writers, and it was really good because it felt like they really loved the characters, especially Grant Morrison. He loved to bring back old characters, like just drag out like people you didn't even remember or from the old Golden Age and Silver Age.
Yeah, he's really good about that.
Yeah, that's the guy with the eyes on his fingers, and Detective Chimp, and all that.
Yeah, I liked his Seven Soldiers of Victory.
What was the name
Shining
of that
Knight
group?
and all those guys.
What was the name of that group actually with Detective Chimp and all that? They were the mystery something.
Shadow.
Is it
Shadow
just called-
Pact.
Yeah, that's it. And there was the Satan
Mhm.
Kid Satan.
I don't know. It's had different members. Like there was Blue Devil and Lady Xanadu, I think.
Yeah, you're right. Shadow Pack.
Yep.
So, what was your
They
favorite?
show up in various things. I got numerous choices. Hang on a sec. I'm gonna message somebody. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot going on in 2018. I think one thing that's good to point out is the DC. Oh yeah, you guys are in Australia. Never mind. But we had the DC Giants at Walmart. So it was 100-page books for $5. That's pretty good. They started that this year.
Did they have?
It's pretty nice.
Sorry.
You don't have to apologize. Just either continue talking or don't interrupt.
Okay.
So what were you going to ask?
Oh, I just wondered if those giant sizes were repeats of the comics that are out or they were original stories.
Yeah, it's a little of both. I think that's part of how they keep the price down. Is they are mostly reprints, but they'll have at least one new story in them. So I think it's pretty fair because they're 100 pages for $5. So it's pretty much the same price as you'd get. You know, a regular issue is going to be $4 or $5 as it is.
Yeah, we don't get any of that. We just get at the news agency a couple of issues of something, and at the comic shop. And there's like 2 comic shops in Perth, and one sucks. So,
How big is Perth, anyways?
it's a pretty big city. It's everything spread out. So it takes half an hour to an hour to get anywhere, especially from where I live. So it's just all spread out, but it's a small city. When I went to Tokyo, it really blew my mind how big it was. Even New York, how big, and Perth's like everything is centralized. Like you've got the main city, and then there's all the suburbs that come off. So
yeah,
and the moment they're doing all renovations to Forest Place, which is like the center of Perth, so everything's either closed or all blocked off, or a huge maze of freaking construction. So
Yeah, it's the opposite over here in Brisbane where everything's like super packed and you could easily maybe walk from one side to the other side of the city in about 45 minutes.
we don't mind British
cool.
People from Brisbane here, just not Victoria.
No, not Victoria.
Yeah, you guys got the East-West rivalry going, right?
Yeah, well, we're better. There's no rivalry. We're just better.
Oh, there you go. Shots
Uh,
fired.
yeah.
Also, we have a mint.
Well, it does remind.
Mint.
Oh, yeah. Do you? Someone was saying that in the chat.
Yeah, it's called the Perth Mint. There was a huge nugget of gold found in Kalgoorlie, which is one of the small towns. Not that kind of mint, the Goldie Mint.
Right.
A huge gold, like it looked like an eagle. I think they call it the eagle or something, and it's on display in that mint. So it's the biggest nugget found in Australia.
That's cool. So that's why they put the mint there.
Yeah. So different.
That makes sense.
Different thing. What's our feelings on the whole Batman Catwoman marriage thing, or anti-marriage, or I don't know what you'd call it.
Yeah.
What's our feelings? Because
What
I thought
about-
it was huge cock tease on the writers. You know how they were going to get married, but they didn't.
Yeah.
And the whole let's shit on our fans. DC decided at that point.
Yeah, that was really disappointing. And then they're back together too. Anyway, they just aren't married, so it was totally really pointless. It was a big letdown, and then they didn't even stick to it.
Yeah, and then he went on like, oh, your lethal lightning's beating up his computer. What was I going to say? Yeah, so they're back together. I haven't really followed it. I do get Catwoman, but I don't get any Bat titles, which is really funny. Why I don't get any Bat titles? What would you recommend Batman-wise?
Oh boy. I guess Detective Comics is kind of the better of the two. I pre-ordered Batman and the Outsiders, but it's been delayed to the point that they canceled it. Well, it's not canceled, but my pre-order was canceled because it's been delayed so much. So I would say Batman and the Outsiders, but no telling when that'll actually come out. Batman is just right now, they always have a good artist. It just depends on the writer and what the writer does. Someone in the chat says Batman Beyond, which I haven't been reading. Thanks for that, Dave. I have heard from other people recently that's really good. So maybe Batman Beyond is the way to go.
I'm going to have to check it out. What's going on in Detective Comics? Any big story? Or is it just like one-offs?
I think so. I was just reading when Brian Edward Hill was on it because it leads into Batman and the Outsiders, like he's working with Black Lightning and Katana and everything. So I thought that was pretty good.
I heard that where he teamed up with Deadshot or something was really good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember Tony Daniel was the artist on that. I know the art was really good. That wasn't too long ago. I don't know if they had Christopher Priest write that or someone else.
Okay. Are we collecting Grant Morrison's Green Lantern run?
Yeah, well, trying to. It's another one I pre-ordered. I have to wait.
Okay, I got the first issue. It wasn't too bad, actually.
Yeah? Did you like it?
Yeah, I actually quite liked it. I like Grant Morrison. It's still until he goes all cosmic weird kind of stuff like that. I like All-Star Superman was brilliant. I think I've read that a million times. His Batman run was okay. I've reread it because I'm getting that part work collection. It's okay. It's not. I think he's better at superpowered characters than he is at ground level characters because Batman is ground level, in my eyes anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think it just
I like
depends.
definitely. Yeah,
Because he's written a lot of Batman. Some I thought was good, and some I didn't think was so good. Like, yeah, like Batman Incorporated, I didn't really like.
yeah, no, a lot of people don't like that. I actually liked it. I mean, I'm fine with it. I had to complete it. Hello, is that?
How are we?
Good.
Hey, Lethal, how you doing?
I am well. Sorry, I was running late. Traffic is a nightmare.
That's cool. Glad you could make it.
Oh, glad to be here.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, it's all good. Just got home, had a piece of toast, quick shower, ready to rock and roll. 6 hours sleep. I am pumped.
Did you put Vegemite on the toast?
I did not. I did not. We don't do that every single time. That is a stereotype. I had jam,
Uh-oh.
raspberry jam, and butter with some light rye
Oh,
toasted. It was fantastic.
I guess it is a stereotype. Like Americans picture Australia in a very stereotypical way. Like you guys ride kangaroos to work and
That one's true.
eat Vegemite for every. Oh, that one is true. Okay.
Yeah,
See,
the
that's what makes it tough. Some of it's true and some isn't.
The kangaroo thing, yes, but the Vegemite everyday thing, nah, that's a bit too
No,
far.
that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I like
People that say
Vegemite.
that have
Just
clearly never
sometimes.
tried Vegemite.
What is with all the hate for
haven't.
Vegemite all of a sudden?
There's no
I
hate for
love
Vegemite. Vegemite's amazing. You just can't have it every single day.
That's true.
Just sometimes.
Every second day.
Okay. What does it taste like? Is it really bitter or sweet or what's the deal?
Pretty
Salt.
salty.
More salty.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
salty.
salty.
Yeah, that's why you scrape it on.
Uh-huh.
Scrape
Take
it,
a
that's right, yeah.
spoonful of it.
It's like my girlfriend, I got some Vegemite, and this is the first time my girlfriend was in Australia. And I come home from work, and she goes, "I had some of that Vegemite. It was disgusting." I said, "How did you eat it?" I had a spoonful. It's like,
Oh, Jesus.
what the hell are you doing?
We also have Tim Tams. I don't know if you've tried a Tim Tam, DC, but that's like a
I
chocolate
haven't
biscuit we
tried
have,
them, but
and
Alex here has told me all about them. They sound really amazing.
yeah, they're
haven't
addictive.
They're better than Twinkies.
Like yeah, definitely. You hear Americans coming over trying Tim Tams and legitimately getting hooked on them while they're here.
Got to show them the Tim Tam Slam.
Yes.
It's always
So
good
they're
with,
pretty
like, a tea or
addictive.
coffee. Yeah.
They always
They
have
are
at least
amazing.
one or two packets in my They had a lychee flavored one. You guys try that? That was really good.
I have not. I like just the basic one. The caramel one's nice.
Yeah, I like that one.
I like the dark chocolate one. That's always fun.
Yeah, if you're into dark chocolate, it's good. But
Welcome
anyway,
to Team Tan Live. Welcome to the Team Tan live stream.
That's to be expected on the Down Under stream.
oh yes.
Anyway,
So, Alex and Hardcopy gave us some of their favorite issues, comics from the last year. What were you thinking about, Lethal?
Off the top of my head, Batman White Knight was amazing. I really am digging.
Oh, yeah.
Hardcopy was talking about it before. The new Justice League run. I'm really digging that. I'm a little bit behind, but I'm really liking that. Wonder Woman. There was an arc that just passed recently in Wonder Woman that I didn't like, but I've been enjoying that. That's been like my constant one, Wonder Woman.
was that one where she was evil?
It was the one that had Artemis.
No,
from
the evil
Red Hood.
one was the Witching Hour. Was like a
Yeah, the Witching Hour,
Justice League
yeah.
arc.
Yeah. Green
But you're
Lanterns.
talking about the main Wonder Woman
Yeah, the main one.
run.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
And it's bad as it is to say, I am really, really, really liking Doomsday Clock. It's just every time a new issue comes out, I've already forgotten what's happened because there's so much gap in between that when I read it, I go, holy crap, this is amazing. And
Right.
honestly, one of the best books of the entire year is the Darth Vader book. That's so good, which is ironic because Star Wars has just turned to shit, but that book is just completely amazing. But it ends in December, unfortunately.
Yeah, I find most of the stuff from the sequel onwards is pretty bad. But
Oh, it's
everything,
bad.
whenever they explore anything from the prequels or the original trilogy, it's like really good. But then when it goes past episode 6, any content, it's just
Straight
Yeah,
downhill.
I can't deal with that stuff.
When it
Just
comes
can't,
to like
dude.
ongoing Star Wars book, I pick and choose my arcs, and even then, it's a bit risky. But if it's good, it's good, and if it's bad, it's pretty bad. But I've been really, really liking Doomsday Clock. It's just, oh my god!
I think you and me are the only ones who like that Lethal Lightning because everybody craps on that. I really like it. I like the art. I like the storyline. I enjoy
I am
it.
so intrigued. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the
And
gap. The
nobody
gap between
likes it.
issues
Yeah,
is
the gap.
amazing.
Yeah, I just go back
But
and
apart from that,
sometimes I go back and read it. But yeah, no, nobody likes it except us. I honestly think we're the only people who like it.
yeah, elitists.
Yeah. Damn
Well,
normies
it's
out
still
there.
one of the better selling comic books. So I don't think it's that dire.
It honestly, it is just the gap that does people's heads in.
Yeah.
Well, it is really hard. I mean, I've read the first couple issues of Doomsday Clock so many times because it's exactly like you say. Every 2 months, a new issue comes out, and you're like, okay. I remember a few months ago, Lex Luthor got shot, and like there was Miss Dr. Manhattan. You know, it's like you got to go back and reread all of that, especially because there's so much going on at once. They'll introduce like 15 things. I can remember Lex Luthor getting shot happening in issue 2. And it wasn't until issue 6, I think, where they finally are like, oh, yeah, this is a thing that happened. So I like Doomsday Clock, too. I've got it on my list of ones from 2018, but I think it's going to be a lot better on the trade than it was reading it over the course of 2 years,
Yeah, I really like it.
personally. Yeah.
I even
What
like
are they up to now? Like
Watchmen.
Yeah, it
Are they up
just
to like
shows
issue 7 or 8?
I'm just gonna have a look. I think it's 8.
Yeah,
They told
I'm pretty
they
sure.
told
I've
me-
only got the first 5, I think, though. Go ahead.
I think they've just covered the backstory of those two, the girl, the man and the woman, the I forgot their names, the bad guys, the ones that joined him in the when they went to
Marionette
different.
and
Yeah.
Mime.
Yeah, that's it. Them two. They just covered their backstory.
Yeah, that was issue 6.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
That's
See?
like that was pretty much the whole issue, was just those two, which I thought was kind of nice because it usually jumps around a whole hell of a lot. I think it has been getting better in that regard. Like issue 6 was one of the better ones, and I've heard really good things about issue 7. I really liked the Green Lantern cover with the moth on it, but
Yep.
I just
Issue
haven't.
7.
Yeah. So we're
Issue
waiting on
7.
8.
Yep.
Hey, Engeltine, how you doing?
Hey.
You there?
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey. Thanks
Ah,
for joining us.
What's up?
Glad you made it to the Down Under stream. We've got 3 Aussies and an American, and you're American too, I think, right?
I hope so. Yeah.
I had no idea. Didn't know where you were
I got
from.
some questions for the
I-
parents if I'm not. Yeah.
You never know.
Oh. So who's are we on here? Because I got a couple of hangouts. So what are you guys talking about tonight?
Recap of the year.
Oh, we're going over the best comics of 2018, our favorites, basically.
Oh, okay.
We were just talking about Doomsday Clock, actually.
Okay. That's pretty interesting because I'm going to start setting up for the Spirit Awards as well. So that should be fun. Wow, the Doomsday Clock. What were y'all saying?
I like it.
Yeah, just that we like it, but it's kind of a drag waiting 2 years to read the whole thing, and we keep having to reread the first few issues whenever a new one comes out.
Jeff Johns getting a promotion to what was it, movies and TV, has really kind of put a big old delay on things. So yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's Gary Frank's drawing that's slowing it down. Yeah.
Either one. I agree. Because every time an issue comes out, I've got to reread the series because I read so many books. It's easy to just kind of push stuff aside. And I don't have a great memory anyway.
Yeah. And it's not like just 1 or 2 things happen in each issue. A lot of crazy stuff happens. So you have to reread it.
Yeah, and it had such a good beginning too. So yeah, it is a little disappointing to have to wait so much, but thankfully, when you do get an issue, it's at least decent. I haven't read a bad issue yet. It's just,
Right.
yeah,
That's true.
Yeah, they're worth the cover price. Like that Gary Frank art is ridiculously good. Like I can see why it takes him a little while. And I understand why DC would take its time. There's so many books that they just rush out the door. They're like, okay, this has got to be done in 2 weeks. Just draw it. Just use 3D models on the background. Just get it done. It doesn't matter. We'll splash some colors on it with hi-fi. Like, they do that with their books, but they know Doomsday Clock 20, 30 years from now, people are going to be still buying that on the trade. So they want it to be a high-quality book.
and I think that's when it's really going to be worth it. Obviously, buying the single issues at this point are, like you said, it's kind of irksome. But when it is in trade paperback form, I think that's when it's going to really kick off. So
I think, it's just the collector's market right now. Like I buy them just to have them. Well, and to read them, obviously. But if you just want the story, yeah, the trade would be the way to go, I think.
Yeah, I've gotten back into comic book collecting, and I need another box.
Right? They do take up a lot of room.
I had to go digital because the room I have just is not big enough. So yeah, that's how I've been. Say again?
I said, digital. That's kind of a two-edged sword there.
Just a touch. If you really want to keep them, you have to screenshot the out of the good books. Yeah,
that's what I do. Honestly,
yeah, because otherwise, it's like with Comixology, you don't actually own them. It's kind of like you get access to their site. So.
It's weird, and I don't really like their e-reader too much. It's like you watch Diversity in Comics trying to do a review with their e-reader in the browser, and he can't get anything to load.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I did, and it's ever since the beginning. I've been, you take the score. You can actually put a comic book together if you just Google it. By the way, because you can find different pages. So you can actually well, maybe not the whole comic, but if I can get 10 or 12, 15 pages off of Google, I'm good.
Good enough for a review,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Generally, that's what I'll do with Comixology, though, is screenshot all the pages and put them in folders. And then I physically own them.
I do for the ones, for the main ones. Like I'm always going to collect Flash and Wonder Woman and Superman, such like that. And God damn it. But there are just some like, okay, I bought Riri Williams.
Ironheart.
I am not going to keep that one. It was decent enough. It was, well, by decent, I mean, it wasn't complete crap, which I thought it would be, but,
is she a villain yet?
No.
Right. You remember that? What was that gonna be? Rebirth? Ooh, man, that's some old lore there.
But the best one was when she got owned by Thanos. She's like, I'm gonna attack Thanos, and he just like freaking owns her, and she's literally peeing her pants and crying as he's holding her, and he's like, "You're not even worth the time," and drops her. And I think that was the most cathartic thing I've ever read in a comic book, next to Iron Man getting his ass kicked by Thor in Civil War, or after Civil War.
That was like a good moment, though. It actually made you like identify with her as a character for the first time. You're like, oh, she isn't just she's actually having a human reaction, Yeah.
Well, that's what's cathartic about it. She's not just like freaking whoever created her little freaking mouthpiece for whatever diversity thing Marvel's got going on. They actually try to write her as a character and gave her a human moment.
Yeah.
I like what Doug Ernst had to say about this issue, where he was saying basically, even though it's not great, it does show how lazy Brian Michael Bendis has been with a character for a while. Yeah, I completely agree. But then again, because of what he's doing to Superman, I am absolutely an anti Brian Michael Bendis fan now.
I'd like to meet somebody who isn't.
He's got people.
Obviously, someone is. Yeah.
Alex.
Somebody's reading. Somebody's reading Scarlet and saying, "That's a great book. I want to read more." I don't get it. I
From
just
what
do not get.
from what I understand, he does better with street level characters. Like people always talk about his Daredevil being good. So I don't know why DC didn't give him like Midnighter or someone like that to write instead of their flagship character.
I don't know. You know what it reminds me of now, and it just may be me, and this just popped into my head. So this isn't like something I've been thinking a lot on. It's just something that popped in my head. It seems like DC, I guess Didio and Lee, they acted like somebody who went away from comics in the mid 2000s, just got back in and said, "Who should we hire for a book?" Hey, Brian Michael Bendis, he's awesome, and they're giving him the keys to the kingdom, not knowing that people are tired of Brian Michael Bendis at this point. I don't know. Just popped into my head. Just a theory. But it really does seem that way. Like they still had in their mind that they were going to get badass Brian Michael Bendis that people enjoyed during the Ultimate Spider-Man run or something.
He hasn't been good since he finished his run on Spider-Man, Ultimate Spider-Man. I mean, I collected his Guardians, his Galaxy, and New X-Men for the longest time. You know what I was doing? I was flipping through it and dumping it on the pile. I actually recently got rid of a lot of comics. His entire runs of those, somebody bought all of them. I don't know why, but I was just happy to, I got room for other things, better things.
Yeah, I've got his run on Invincible Iron Man with the first appearance of Riri Williams, and I'm just waiting. I figure they said they were going to announce her in a movie. The idiot speculators will pay top dollar if somebody's announced for a movie, so I'm waiting because I do eBay as well. You know, I figure I'll sit on them for a while, but otherwise they're useless. They're not that good, to tell you the truth.
Really, they are going to put her in a movie.
Rumored. It was rumored, but then then again, who doesn't have a rumor of what's coming up?
Yeah, there's a lot of movies in the works.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when Robert Downey Jr. retires, I mean, that was probably their long view idea, was to make a new character to fill that slot, even more so than replacing Iron Man in the comics was replacing Iron Man in the MCU. But I don't know if their Riri character's up to the challenge, unless they kind of completely redid her for the movies. Like, just give her an origin that actually makes sense. Like, like you were saying, have her be Rhodey's niece or something, and she kind of has known Iron Man for a long time. She didn't just drop out of the sky, so to speak. Like, there was a reason for her to be there, and Tony Stark could be like, oh wow, this girl's really smart, she's really into this stuff, let's start to teach her. And then something could happen to Tony, and then she'd have to like, come on, it's not that hard. Like, I'm not a professional comic writer, but I feel like I could write come on. It's back to basics. That's why Superman was actually selling well and doing well once they'd gone back to basics in the Rebirth run before Bendis came on. He was with Lois. They have a son. Like, it's just good, wholesome stuff that people like to read. Super Dad was actually outselling, any of the Superman in the New 52, but it had to go. Oh, and even Super Sons was doing really well. People like that stuff.
Oh, that was so good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was so much fun. I'd give that to my sister's kids. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's okay. Yeah. The new run is good. The Adventures of Super Sons is good. It's just not, it doesn't feel like canon. It feels like this offshoot title for kids rather than what it was. And they messed things up. At least Tomasi's coming. Detective Comics. We'll be getting some good books, hopefully, from Batman then. So there.
Yeah, Tomasi's real good. I guess, is that after his Super Son Adventures finishes?
I don't remember. I know it's in the back of every comic book now. I don't know what the date was, though. I just because at this point I'm passing them by because I've seen it enough. But yeah, I don't know what number he's coming on.
DC kills me with that. We'll also have the same ad in every single comic book, but then they have tons of books they don't promote at all.
Yeah. So which one do you think should get more advertisement? Like what's good but that they're not pushing?
Well, there's primarily the new, well, it's almost too late now, but primarily the DC New Age of Heroes line, like the whole line. Maybe not promote Silencer and Sideways because those two are kind of doing all right on their own, but you
I
know,
think they canceled
challengers.
Sideways.
Did they?
Yeah, I think
Aren't
that
they
was
just
one
like
of the ones on the
DC does
chopping block.
Marvel?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Aren't they just DC does Marvel? Because like some of those characters look very like Sideways, or as I like to call Spiderways. Looks like-
Spiderways.
He became his own character very quickly, but it was like the Terrifics or Fantastic Four. I mean, that's obvious, except for their Fantastic Four done a lot better, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, Terrifics is really
Um,
good, but I stopped collecting it because apparently it went downhill at a point. So I
Really?
stopped collecting it. Well, that's what I heard. Like a new writer came
Oh.
on, and they
A
kind
new
of crapped
writer,
on it.
too?
Oh,
I knew
I'm
that-
not
Yeah.
too sure. That's what
Well, it didn't go downhill. I wouldn't say it went downhill. They just got a new writer. It's still been good.
No Jeff
okay.
Lemire.
Yeah.
I can't even. I mean, it was bad enough when they got rid of the original artist. Although Doc Shanner was really good, but ditching
A
the
lot of
writer
them-
too.
A lot of them were only contracted for a few issues, like the first storyline, and then they jumped ship. So it was like, hey, we're going to have these great artists on it for long enough to hopefully get you interested in the characters. Unfortunately, it didn't work for all of them, even if they were good titles. Curse of Brimstone has just been getting better and better. And
They used up all their orange and black ink, though.
yeah, that is true. Yeah, can't argue with that. But it's kind of funny that it's also on the chopping block. You know, it's amazing.
The
that
whole
they're getting
freaking line
involved.
is because DC is
Yeah.
got their head in the ground. Like, yeah, you could say they were contractually obligated, but that is not how this series was sold to us. I was
Yeah.
doing videos before any of the books come out, just based off of DC's advertising, and it was all about, you know, our master class of artists and writers is going to be doing this new line. It wasn't like, okay, after 2 issues, after half an issue, Jim Lee bailed. Like, he didn't even do all of issue 1. You know, the whole thing was just ass backwards, honestly. And it's really too bad because almost all the ideas were really cool. Like,
Yeah.
Jim Lee's book, Immortal Men, that was badass. That was going to be like, I don't know, it was sold as DC's X-Men, but not really. I thought it was a cool premise. And
I like the
Terrific.
unexpected.
Yeah, Unexpected. I've got the first issue of that. And those ones, too, weren't even new creations, so to speak. Well, I guess, you know, that's another thing most of the people don't realize is this New Age of Heroes. Most of them are characters that existed in name. So, like, Damage existed in name. And the unexpected characters like Neon and, well, Firebrand. There's been like 4 or 5 Firebrands.
Yeah.
But all those books, they sell really bad, like 10,000 or less. So,
Yeah, if it was Marvel, they would be, hey, look how good we're doing. You know,
Right.
DC's like, yeah, 10,000, we better ditch it. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, if this was a Marvel book, they would be celebrating it. They'd be calling us SJWs for not loving it. Or
yeah.
not SJ, but you know, hateful Nazis because we
Oh,
don't like
right.
the unexpected.
Yeah, Firebrand's POC.
Yeah.
Or, WOC.
That's right. Yeah. That's a black woman. You're Nazi. You don't like it. But hey, I do.
I actually do like the unexpected, but it isn't selling too well. But yeah, that's one. And like Steve Orlando's got a new book called Electric Warriors. The only reason I know about it's because Ash on Comics did a review. Like, there's a new miniseries that came out this week. No one's talking about.
No offense taken.
Yeah,
I
but
did.
my point is,
I did a
these-
video review on it as well. It was it
Oh,
was
my
one, no the video tanked. It's like
Oh.
who I usually do 2 reviews. I do a because I just like to give the idea and the feeling. I don't need to go unless I'm roasting it. I don't do a whole big thing because I feel if I like the book, I want you to read the book the way I did, you know, and enjoy it. So I don't like to do long reviews on books I like.
Mhm.
So I did this. I did a review of that and the Dr. Horrible book, Tossing and Independent, and I put it out there, and everybody's like, "What? I didn't know this existed." So I had to put the Dr. Horrible as the forerunner because more
Oh.
people heard of Dr. Horrible than that. And by that time, the video was already dead, so I ended up deleting it.
Oh, dang. See, I actually I'm like one of the very few people that would have been interested in that, but hardly, like, no one knows about it, right?
Yeah.
But so you can tell us now, though, what did you think of Electric Warriors?
Surprisingly good. I actually was, like I said, surprised at it. It starts off very vague in what's going on, and it's completely written for the trade. I'm not a big fan of that, but by the end you find out it's what's going on, and it's it's kind of like the book Strike Force Morituri, where there's an alien invasion and they send, or it's, except for it's like shit. It's not an invasion. It's like the Hunger Games with superheroes in the future.
Oh,
yeah, and it's when I found that out, I was like, oh, cool. Except for animals have been given sentient. Well, damn it, that's not the word for it. Human intelligence. And every time a human goes into this particular thing, they're killed quickly. But this one guy wants to prove that humans are still relevant on Earth, so he signs up. It's pretty good, and obviously a little bit complicated in that plot thing.
Yeah.
you guys read
check it
Hawkman?
out. Oh, sorry, what?
Have you read Hawkman? I forgot to mention Hawkman. I really like Hawkman.
Oh, Hawkman is one of the best books on the shelf.
Hitch's art, and the story is full of adventure, and and a bit of, and I like Hawkman's like origins and stuff, that he's reincarnated through the centuries. So it's good to see them.
That's
do
been the
something
story.
on
Yeah, it's been all about him exploring his past lives, which is just a lot of fun.
that. Yeah,
I've loved this storyline with the Atom.
yeah, the Atom is freaking cool. I forgot how cool the Atom is. I remember him in Justice League Unlimited, by the voice of what's his name? The guy from Scrubs, the doctor. The one that the one who always calls everyone girls' names. Oh, I can never remember his name.
You know what?
Guy.
I know his name until you asked. I hate it when that happens, when it's like just right there.
And Wonder Woman puts him in her cleavage, and everybody wished they were the Atom.
My favorite thing that ever happened with it, I think it was Big Barda though, but Plastic Man JLA books, the Grant Morrison run, made himself look like a red dress. And
was
Big
it
Barda. Yeah, it was Plastic Man. He made himself look like a red dress in Big Barda's room. So she's like, "Where's Plastic? Oh my God!" And it shows she's strangling Plastic Man, who's now wrapped all around her. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny.
He's done stuff like that a few times. I think he did it to Wonder Woman too.
Yeah. I love that run. That is my favorite run of the Justice League. The Grant Morrison JLA back in the 90s, 2000.
Oh.
Yeah, I've got that in graphic novel form. Yeah, that were really good.
Yep. Oh, that's the way to buy them too. I think, and I did say in a video, I thought they were the first ones to really kind of get people to pay attention to trade paperbacks. Because I know that soon after that, the Ultimate Marvel hit and it became very popular. But I do believe it was Grant Morrison's Justice League that was done in 6-issue story formats. And that's when it really started.
Sometimes it can be a bit weird because I've got what's his name? Run on Wolverine, the one where he goes to Japan and meets his wife and all that. And because it was a single comic, he had to explain little Wolverine's slogan all the time. I'm Wolverine. I'm the best at what I do, and what I do isn't very nice with my adamantium claws. And so every page, or not every page, but every 3 or 4 pages, he would say that. And it's like, yeah, I get it.
That's the Chris Claremont Wolverine. That was something that Stan Lee believed. Everybody's comic book is the first comic book.
Yeah,
every comic book is somebody's first. So you have to get them to understand the story that's going on. So, yeah, they weren't written for the trades back then.
Yeah, no.
So you did get a lot of that.
I
So,
met him. He was grumpy.
Wolverine.
No, oh well.
Grant-
Chris Claremont.
oh, really?
Yeah, he came to Australia at Supernova, and I had my Wolverine. Well, I brought him for him to sign, and I asked, "What do you think of them basing the new Wolverine movie on your book?" And he goes, "I don't care." He didn't have his coffee, or he just didn't care. He was quite grumpy, and I thought it was hilarious. But it's Chris Claremont, man. He does. I don't care.
They probably didn't give him a cut of the money from the movie, is why he's grumpy.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I mean, they threw Sterling under the bus. Like, Infinity War made over $1 billion, and he didn't get any money, even though he created Thanos.
That's ridiculous.
It is Jim Sterling. You notice that Marvel pushed him out right before Infinity War came out. It's like, oh yeah, thanks for this multi-billion-dollar character, and you're out.
That is freaking ridiculous.
Oh, that's evil, especially in 2018. Like, they've always screwed over comic creators going way back, but there wasn't so much media that people just weren't aware of it. So to be so ballsy as to do that to such an amazing creator, it's just insane. Like, he didn't see a dime from that. Even Chuck Dixon, he gets money whenever Bane appears. Like, DC is a little better about that, but yeah,
Well,
they
after
really
the whole Superman thing, I guess they have to be.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they did get hammered a few times, so maybe that's why someone needs to. I think he actually is. He does have some kind of a lawsuit against Marvel, but good luck. That's Disney money he's fighting.
Mhm.
Good work.
One of my
Flat
favorite-
Earth, John Byrne. Sorry.
One of my favorite documentaries is Batman and Me. The oh wait, yeah, isn't that it? Yeah, Batman and
Yeah,
Me.
I
The
watched that.
Bill Finger one.
Mm-hmm.
That I love that one. Except for, man, it makes you feel so bad for the guy.
Well, yeah,
but,
there you go.
yeah.
That's the prime example, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's sad. It is sad. Huh. I tried to. I tried to click on the link to see if there's any comments or anything like that, but it tells me that the video is not available.
Our stream?
Yeah.
Oh, there's people in the chat and stuff.
Oh, hello. They don't like me then. I can't get onto it. That is completely weird.
I sent you the link.
Yeah. Well, see if you can get in there.
Send it again into DMs or something like that. That is so weird. My computer has been messing up and all over the place, so I am sure it's on my side. I am what do they call it? Boomer.
Oh, right.
When it's the old man who can't work anything. Yeah, that's me.
The boomer. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The boomer.
Except for pasture.
I'm not a boomer though. Gen X. So. Yeah.
So let's move on to Marvel. I know there's probably nothing to talk about with Marvel because they haven't been good this year, have they?
Not so much.
Hey, I'll give them credit. X-Men Grand Design. That thing looked pretty freaking good. I was going to break down and buy it, but it was sold out. I was like, shit, it must be good. So
that's like the Cliff Notes version of X-Men.
That'd
in
be
all
perfect,
honesty,
though, for someone like me, because I'm just not a big Marvel guy. Like, that would seem like a perfect place for me to jump in and be all like retro style and stuff. I thought it looked cool, but tell us about it if you've read it.
That's it. It really is a Cliff Notes version of what happened in the X-Men. Yeah. Oh yeah, and it had newsprint, so that was fun. I like that bit about it, just because. I miss it. I miss that.
I know. It looks so freaking cool. Like, I wanted
it really does.
That book. Maybe I'll get it on the trade.
And it basically goes over everything that happened. Sometimes it'll gloss over if it's not an important event, or it'll stay for a page or two if it is, it just goes from issue 1, issue 2, issue 3. And it just covers everything. So if you don't have the money or to buy all the trades and such, and you just want, like I said, a Cliff Notes version, it's just a lot of fun to read. In all honesty, I kind of enjoyed it because to me it's like walking down memory lane. was like, oh yeah, I love that storyline. I read that. One of my first Silver Age books was the story with the Master Mold and all sorts, you know. So I loved the Sentinels when I was a kid, and that was one of the first stories that I picked up.
That
I
sounds
like
But we
Cosmic
used to-
Ghost Rider.
Cosmic Ghost Riders was tons of fun. It's over now. I think it was
Yeah.
only a mini series, but man, that was fun. But anything Donny Cates is totally enjoyable. Highly recommend it. I hate Venom. Don't like the character. They fucked him over. He used to be such a great villain. Now he's an okay midline anti-hero. Except for I love the book. Donny Cates is kicking ass on it. You know, I can't hate Venom the book, but I'm still not a fan of the character.
Yeah, Hiddle's pretty good.
No, I can't think of a bad thing that Cates is writing right now. Okay, I'll tell you this. I did think he mishandled the ending of Death of Inhumans.
Oh, he wrote
I
that.
mean, if you're going to call... Yeah, he did. And if you're going to call a book The Death of somebody in that book should die. I'm just saying. They should actually be dead by the end of the book, but none of them.
They never do that, do they? In Civil War, Giant Man died. But honestly, I didn't know who Giant Man was until he died. It should have been a major character who died.
I thought Captain America died at the end.
Well, after that, like in the end, he got arrested.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, what a dumbass story. Sorry, but Iron Man ends up acting like a fascist, and Captain America says, hey, I know a way to change this American law. I'm going to go punch Tony Stark. Just have somebody written in character. No, I know I get a lot of crap for it, but yeah, I didn't care for Civil War. Neither one of them. I can say that Civil War 1 was better than Civil War 2. Yes.
Would you say Cates is like Marvel's Jeff Johns? He's basically carrying the whole company on his shoulders. Like whenever Marvel comes up, like, you know, it should be like a rule, you know, when people are talking about Marvel, you can't mention Cates for the first 5 minutes because it's inevitable. Like, what's a good Marvel book? Cates. Okay.
Yeah.
And, that's it. You know. Okay.
No Cates. I like the new Punisher because they're letting Punisher be Punisher.
Who's writing that?
Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm sorry, guys, but I've been reading. I read through the books so fast. It's like, who wrote that? I should mention that in the review, and I don't. Let's see. Immortal Hulk has been fun. Everybody mentions that one.
Someone mentioned that in the chat, actually.
Is that that's not the She-Hulk one, is it? Because that looks horrible.
No. She-Hulk sucked.
Oh, did you see that picture of She-Hulk kissing Thor? And it's like,
yeah,
she's manhandling him. I'm just like, dear God. And like, he's embarrassed, like he won't admit to it. And the other characters are asking what they were doing. And she's like, we were smashing. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Ew.
Right? And it's not like the sexy, like we were talking about John Byrne, his She-Hulks. Oh man, that's like pinup stage. Like that's the best. Like, you wouldn't think She-Hulk could be sexy, but it's like, damn, she's fine.
But I gotta say, back in my teens, She-Hulk was my comic book crush.
Right? Like the way he drew her was just ridiculous. Like he can draw.
I love the jump rope scene.
Right.
There's a couple of pages where she's jumping rope and naked. And the rope is you see the rope lines over the private parts, and it just says, okay, all our pervy readers were requesting I jump rope in the nude, and here you go. And it's just a whole line. And she was Deadpool before Deadpool as well.
She wasn't naked though. She had a bikini on. When it stops, it's actually she's wearing a bikini. That was a whole bait and switch.
Yeah, she was the first, or at least she was before Deadpool, talking to the audience and breaking the fourth wall, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, heck, she did it. She did it on the covers of issue number 160, where it's like she's standing there. Okay, we're doing this again. If you don't buy my book, I'm coming over to rip up all your X-Men. And then when it got canceled in 60, it says, "Okay, kids, I'm coming for your X-Men." I love those things. She was Actually, you're right. MK Ambush Bug was the Deadpool before DC or before Marvel made Deadpool.
Poor old ambush bug. Has he even shown up in Rebirth yet?
Isn't he dead?
I saw.
Well,
No, he showed up in Supergirl recently.
Oh, okay.
He's
He's kind of like
not that he did anything. He was just kind of there.
he kind of shows up in Supergirl more than anything. He was like that in the New 52 anyway. Like Convergence Supergirl, he just shows up. He's like one of the characters in that.
Oh, I gotta check that out.
Yeah, Convergence Supergirl. Oh, it's Supergirl Matrix. It's like the, the clone Supergirl or whatever. But I thought it was all right. Some of those Convergence stories are really good, actually. Like the Wonder Woman one, she has to fight the Red Rain universe characters, so it's like Vampire Joker and shit.
Oh.
Oh yeah, it's badass.
Yeah, I quit mainstream comics after New 52. I was bored and done with Marvel already, and DC changed. I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm out. I thought I was actually done with comics for good, but yeah, so I stopped during the New 52. I gave it a couple of weeks, but yeah, I just didn't do it.
Yeah, their sales towards the end of the run were really low. Everybody quit.
But thankfully, Didio is bringing back the New 52. Maranya's got a question. You guys asked for questions for the panel.
Oh yeah, I missed that. What 5 books should be never cancel titles, and what 5 books should be canceled and never brought back for Marvel or DC? Wow, that's a long question.
We should all go through each.
Let's see. Okay, let's do this first. 5 books that should never be canceled for each. Wow, that's because I mean sometimes things just come to an end too, right?
Yeah. Well, obviously it would have to be the mainstays, like no matter how much I hate Bendis's run, Superman, Batman, JLA, Wonder Woman, The Flash, they should never be canceled. The ones that should just go away and never come back. Ooh, that's tough because you're always reminded that in the hands of a good writer, any character can be good.
Kite Man.
DC Comics Girls. No, I'm kidding.
Actually, the superhero girls is pretty good. For what they are, it's not bad.
Hey, one cool thing about that too, it's really good kids entertainment. The DC superhero girls. I actually like that DC's got like a line that's reaching out to, well, girls. Honestly, it's straight up for girls, and then they have the Justice League Action is more like the boys one. But they're, as far as I know, they're both always live streaming on YouTube, like 24/7.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. It's like free entertainment for kids.
Any character can be decent in the hands of a good writer, but I don't know. If I were to say what should go away and never come back, and by that you got to consider the books that they are publishing. I mean, it would be easy to chop off one of the New Age of Heroes.
Yeah, those are dropping.
Yeah, because that's going. But if I were to be a little controversial, something, you know what? I'll go to say this: you got Batman, you got Detective, you got Superman, you got Action. Any more Superman or Batman titles where it's just Superman or Batman? Done. Okay, if they're part of a team, fine, but you don't need, because at one point wasn't there like 5 Batman titles with like Gotham City or. Yeah. So yeah, just leave 2. But that's what I mean, it's kind of a punk way out, but yes, 2 titles done.
You guys, other guys want to weigh in? What do you guys think?
Lethal Lightning.
You there, Lethal?
I think he's asleep.
We lost Lethal.
It's like midday too.
It's Australia, so maybe like a spider or a scorpion or something got him.
Drop there.
Yeah.
I don't think we have too many scorpions over here though.
Oh really? I don't even know. I just assume if it can kill you, it's in Australia.
That's fair. I haven't read enough comics to really say what ones should be cancelled. bit
For
new and
Mar-
all.
Well, if we go over to Marvel, then it would have to be kind of the same thing, like Avengers, Captain America, Spider-Man. Those three definitely shouldn't. I would keep a Hulk title around,
I wouldn't
and
mind the Sanctuary being explored a little more.
Thor. But
I'd have to agree with I love comics, but my cancelled Deadpool, 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 Deadpool,
yeah.
Deadpool. Oh, and Gwenpool, and Spider Gwen, and any of that Squirrel Girl, and any of that garbage.
Like there
unless
need
you're gonna
never
write
be
it-
another Squirrel Girl comic.
Oh
Of
God,
all
please.
the ones that you mentioned, the thing is Gwenpool is just the same as Deadpool used to be. So there's absolutely no reason for Gwenpool at all, ever. That's what Deadpool used to be. Just
It's for cosplayers. Let's be honest.
yeah. So I would pick. Yeah, I would agree with you on Gwenpool that needs to go. Squirrel Girl can actually be good if once again they give it to the right writer and artist. I actually noticed a huge improvement when Erica Henderson dropped out.
I'm
That
sick of
makes-
the whole like freaking pop culture reference comedy. It's
Yeah.
just lazy. I think I've said this before. It's just lazy. It's like Ghostbusters 2018 where they just ad-libbed the entire freaking what do you call it, screenplay. If you can't even freaking write a script, or if you can't even write a comic book, then don't. Just leave us alone. Get somebody
2018.
else.
They're doing
2015.
it again?
No,
Another one?
I mean,
2015.
20.
We have to
Whatever.
live through that again?
Was it 15 or
Yes, we do.
16? Yeah.
It was 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, 200. Sorry, I was just saying the recent. It's just like it just feels lazy. Pop culture references are all cool once in a while, but when your entire book is one giant pop culture or Marvel reference or whatever, it's. I don't want to read that. Okay, I've been in reading comics and knowing Marvel. I don't need to be reminded. Oh, this pop culture reference or this meme. Oh, meme. Putting memes in your comic book is the laziest shit in the entire world. If you do that, you're a hack writer.
They put memes in a comic book?
Once in a while they do, and it's just, even if you do it once, you're a hack writer. Quit. Go work at Kmart.
Marvel has been fucking up their line just by making everybody not special. I mean, I've said before, and I've had people go, well, you like Nightwing as Batman, but it's a natural progression, and it's trained, and it's not necessarily a personality. As much as it is a symbol. Yes, of course, Bruce Wayne is the personality and nobody's ever going to be as good as him. But Captain America, Steve Rogers, is an inspiration. And it's because of the man in the costume that makes him the inspiration. One of the worst fucking scenes ever put in comic book history and on the page is freaking Captain America 25 of the Sam Wilson run, where everybody's looking up to him. Oh, I'm coming because of what he's saying. No, I'm sorry, but they would be looking at him. Hey, Sam, what's up? That's not fucking Steve Rogers. If it's the costume only, then it just doesn't matter who's in it. It doesn't. And that's what Marvel's been doing. They've been saying the person under the mask is not as important as the mask itself, and that's why now we have 50,000 Spider-Men running around. Which is like, okay, so why is Peter Parker special? And they've been doing that to their entire run. Lady Jane is all about the fact that, well, Thor's not special. I'm sorry, but
yeah, no.
Well, they
I
just
agree.
did that whole Spider-Geddon event too, right? Where they're like, oh, we have 750,000 spider people.
Still going. And
Right?
When everyone's special, no one is.
Yeah, Syndrome was correct. Syndrome wasn't wrong.
He wasn't wrong about that.
Well, I disagree. He's being proved wrong by Marvel. But yeah, you're actually right. Yes, he was right.
Somebody pointed out every other cover with a cell phone selfie. I agree. Stop doing cell phone selfies freaking on your cover. God damn it. Bloody millennials.
And I thought the sums were bad.
It's pretty cringy.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes, it is.
once maybe because nobody's done it, but when you freaking do the same thing, I think every cover of Gwenpool is her taking a selfie or something. Probably not every cover, but just that's in my brain. That's what I remember. And if
Oh,
that's what I remember, that's my feelings about it.
it got pretty bad. I have a copy of Astro City where they're doing a selfie cover, so the virus spread pretty far.
Who writes that again?
Friggin' Kurt Busiek.
Okay. Yeah, he went kind of nuts on social media, didn't he?
Yeah, he went nuts on me. Guy's a jerk.
He blocked me.
Oh,
And I don't
yeah.
mean block. He didn't block bot me. We got into an argument, and he just flat out blocked me.
See, if you're going to get blocked, you've got to earn it, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's
Not
and I
just a
did.
block,
On
you're going to earn
I
it.
didn't
Earn
even
that
say
block.
anything mean to him.
I'm
Yeah,
blocked
no,
by
no.
I'm blocked by Eric Larson from his own hand as well. But I guess if you call a guy a child fucker too many times, he's gonna block you. It was my fault on that one.
Was that because of
He's a child.
yeah, I don't know why that would be, but was it just because of
Oh,
Savage
that
Dragons?
yeah, the Savage Dragon and the fact that he draws that girl to look 13, and I was like, dude, I understand that Asian women can look young, but dude, that's fucking sick. So yeah, Eric, I brought him up, but dude, you are like borderline pedophile. This is blocked. You are blocked from seeing all content. So yeah, call a person a pedophile to get mad, I guess.
I imagine so.
Yeah, I'm hurt.
It is a shame, though. Savage Dragons turned into hentai.
Yeah, it's
not even
bad.
very good hentai, mind you. It's not even very
No,
good.
Not even the
It
good
isn't.
stuff.
But in all honesty, I got one of those comic book bento boxes a while back, and it had Savage Dragon, the first chapter, in it. And I remember, oh wow, I used to like this book, and I read it, and I'm like, oh god, this sucks.
It used to be good.
That's what that's what I thought. I'm like literally the first books, the first 6 books that we all say, oh, it used to be good back in the day. No, it wasn't. We were
Really?
yeah, it was good if you read it right after Youngblood, but on its own, oh my gosh, 30 years later, no, it sucked.
My mate had all of that. He had like boxes and boxes of it. And one day I was over at his house, and I think he was doing something, or he went out or something. Or I used to come around when he was sleeping. He didn't mind. And I just sat there
at him longingly.
Well, he was lazy. He'd come around at this time, and I'd come around, and he'd still be in bed. And it's like, well, I'm just going to sit down and read all your comics. And I read all, I don't know if it was the entire run of Savage Dragon because it's still going, but I read like 3 or 4, about 100 comics of Savage Dragon. I just sat there reading it all. And yeah, it's not that good. It's not terrible. It's just kind of that kind of mind clouding kind of comic. You know what I mean? It's just like, clouds your mind for a little bit. It's like watching a terrible reality show or something.
Yeah, it's nice when you can just sit back and just read a whole bunch of comics from one series. We got stuck. We lived down a small road, only 2-lane street, and when the hurricanes hit, it knocked trees in our way, so we weren't able to leave. We couldn't get out of our little cul-de-sac until somebody came and took care of the trees. And so I sat back, started reading the Bone, the whole series. I read in like 2 days. Man, what a great freaking time. That was it. Have you read Bone?
Oh, I love Bone. Bone is so freaking good. And they did a second series. He's done a second series, which I'd be really mean to get hold of. But yeah, everybody should read Bone. My sister borrows it. Yeah, my sister borrows it every once in a while. She'll borrow and just read through it again. My mum reads it. She loves it. My dad, when I first started getting 100 Bullets, he read all of that. He said to me, I was nearly late for work because I was sitting on the toilet reading 100 Bullets.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's a good endorsement for any comic.
Yeah, it's a great toilet read. I remember getting I used to have the entire Essential X-Men run. They had like Classic X-Men and then Uncanny, which was the Claremont days, and I had all of them at the time. I think it was up to like book 8 or 9 or something like that. It was right after the demon one, Inferno. And I got another chance just to sit there and read the entire Claremont run of X-Men. And it's just, when you get to, it's like church. You know, you sit there and it's like worship. It's just, God, great stories, a lot of fun. And of course, there's a couple of stinkers in there, but it's just, this is why I love this stuff. You know, whenever you get,
that's how I feel about like George Perez and Marv Wolfman and stuff from back in the day.
Oh, you're talking, that's my origin story, brother.
Right?
New Teen Titans, yes.
Well, Mr. Miracle is a Jack Kirby character.
Yes. No, I'm not talking about my avatar. What got me in as a collector, because I was reading comics. I was reading comics since I was about 4 or 5 years old. But I became a collector in the 1980s, because back in the day you got them at the Shop and Go or the 7-Eleven as it would be now, but so you couldn't always get the comic books in sequential order, so you just read what was available at the time. But when about 1980s, we had comic book shops go in, and I picked up the first comic that really got me was Dial H for Hero. Was it Avenger Comics?
Oh man, what is that?
It was
House of Mystery, right? It's like a
no. It was at the time. It was when it came out, it was House of Mystery. But I'm not that old. This was the redo in the 1980s.
Okay.
Yeah, it was in Adventure Comics, and that grabbed me. And then I grabbed onto one of the New Teen Titans, and off to the races. I was a collector. From that point on, I had to get every New Teen Titans. George Perez, Marv Wolfman, they're gods, you know.
That's how I feel too when you were talking about Chris Claremont and all that, which they're on the same level too. But it's just, I'm a DC guy, so it made me think about that too. Like, yeah, the 80s, man, they had some crazy talent back then. And like Jerry Ordway doing the inks and stuff on George Perez, and it's like Jerry Ordway is still running around like he just turned 61. So back then he must have been, I guess, around 30.
I had a great conversation with George Perez one time. It turned into an interview, and I didn't even think I was interviewing him, but we were at a comic shop down here called Acme Superstore, and I'm sitting. They had this long bar where people could just plop their comics down and look through them, do whatever they needed to. And so I'm sitting there, and somebody sits right down in the stool next to me, and I'm looking through comics. I'm like, oh. Then I look over again. I'm like, holy shit, it's George Perez. So hey, how you doing? Just start talking to him. And then I start asking him some questions. This is during the Infinite Crisis storyline.
Okay.
And I'm getting all my books settled, and I'm just starting to ask him, like, what do you feel like with the return of Donna Troy? They never really you guys wrote Who is Donna Troy? You tried to give her an origin story. And what do you think when somebody takes a character that you created and they're kind of all messed up a little bit about it? He goes, well, you make it, you write it, you realize it really isn't yours. You got to let it go. And after a while, you get really used to it. So it's okay. And we just back and forth like that. And then I noticed there's people just listening to us talk. And I thought, wow, that's why I always say I ended up interviewing George Perez, because I'm asking him questions. He's just answering while people are just gathered around listening to it. And what was really great is I had the Infinite Crisis. I had the first issue there, and he goes, "You want me to sign that?" Oh my God. I was like, yes, slide it right on over. And yeah, got a signed copy of Infinite Crisis from him. Had a really nice, I tried not to treat him like George Perez and just like, just another guy who knew comics, and he just draws them and such like that. But it was really hard to not act like I'm sitting.
I'm sure.
Perez.
It sounds like you handled it really well, though. I would have just been like, I would have been like, oh my God, it's George Perez.
I worked at Universal Studios at the time as well. So Robin Williams is here. Okay. We would get that kind of announcement. Janet Leigh's going to be in your show. Wait, I'm working at Alfred Hitchcock, and Janet Leigh is coming in to see the show. And, so we would get like big name actors all the time, and you just have. And if we freaked out, we would get fired. So I learned very quickly how to handle myself around celebrity.
Yeah, no,
Because
you
I
can
met
freak out when
So-
you get home, and then while you're
Yeah.
interviewing them, just be cool and get the info.
Go to all the friends. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I met George Perez, and they're like, who? Because I'm the only one that reads comics.
Oh my gosh. I mean, maybe I'm too far into comics, but like not knowing who George Perez is, I'd be like, really?
Yeah.
Is he? I thought he was pretty mainstream. You know, I think even freaking at the end of BVS, they had a whole bunch of character creators that they credit at the very, very end of the credits. And George Perez and Marv Wolfman were on there because of Cyborg.
Oh yeah,
cool.
But what were you going to say, Hard Copy? Sorry about that.
Oh no, it's fine. I met George Perez. He came down to Supernova.
Holy shit!
And he did a drawing. He asked because I paid, like, I try to get drawings from like artists, like everybody does. But being in Australia, it's a lot harder. So we have a Supernova. Alex probably knows. And once in a while, we get some really good artists. I've got Frank Cho. I've got damn it, I'll have to have a look. But anyway, I got George Perez, and I got him, and he asked me, "What do you want?" And the guy's a fun guy. He will literally he'll ask you what you want, which is pretty cool. I said, "Can you draw the Hulk eating an ice cream?" And he drew a Hulk eating an ice cream, which is freaking cool. And he also had like a talk, and he talked about different styles and drawing, and he drew some Wonder Woman and all that, and he gave it to me, which was pretty cool too, which is hanging up in the comic book store in Perth at the moment, so which is pretty cool too. But no, he's a freaking cool guy. He was really informative, and I learned probably nothing, but it was still a pretty cool guy.
It's fun to talk to people like that, and if you go up and you have a conversation where you're not like fanboying, you get to know them a little bit, and that's kind of cool when you can do that. I had a talk with I don't know if you guys are going to recognize this. Maybe you, DC, because you sound old like me. But I had a conversation with me. I had a conversation with Richard Hatch, and it wasn't about, like, I did bring up Battlestar Galactica because I thought he did a great job in this new incarnation and such. But we ended up talking about the good guys on TV. Like, oh yeah, I love police shows, but we talked about the good guys with Tom Hanks' kid and everything, and it was like, just kick it back, relaxing, enjoying, a conversation. It was really nice, That was kind of weird. Anyway,
well, Chris Claremont was grumpy. That's all I remember. Chris Claremont. What do you think?
Yeah,
no, don't care.
That happened with me and Lou Ferrigno. When I met Lou Ferrigno, he seemed pissed. I don't know what I did to you, Lou, but
Lou smash
kick your ass. Yeah.
Did he turn green?
Kick your ass. You treat me like that, Lou. Yeah.
Oh man, don't mess with Engeltine.
No way.
Come and get me. Yeah. Come on, I dare you. And then he door breaks.
That guy just looked pissed. He looked pissed to be there. It's one of those like. Nobody was in artist or celebrity lane, whatever they want to call it. They used at the time when I went up there, but yeah, it was my first convention in like 15 years, and I didn't know people were charging for autographs anymore. And I took Dirk Benedict, another Battlestar Galactica alum. I took a movie of his called Ruckus, and I said, "Oh, I love this film." And he talked about it and such. He told a lot of stories. He goes, "You want me to sign it?" I said, "Yes, please." He goes, and he signed it and says, "That's $20." It's like, wait, what? You got pissed because like I don't have $20 to give you for an autograph. I gave him the tape. I said, "You could have the tape."
Wow.
Yeah, he handed it back. He gave it back. I was like, "Yeah, that's where I learned." Yeah, that's where I learned that they get money for the autographs now.
Generally,
$20. That's pretty cheap in Australia. You buy a picture for $100 and then you get it signed.
This was about 10, 12 years ago. I don't know what they're charging now.
I think that's about right. I heard Jim Lee charges $40, and that was like at San Diego Comic-Con a year or two ago. So, I think it's around that 20 to probably like 100 if it's like friggin', super famous person, because Jim Lee is about as famous as you're gonna get. No, that Stanley
Yeah.
is
I
gone.
watched a news report from the 90s when Jim Lee and all that were leaving to create Image. I was like, wow, remember
Oh,
when
yeah.
comics were this mainstream, where the announcement of creating of major artists and writers leaving Marvel to create their own comic maker or developer or whatever was actually on the news.
That was a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, you never see that happening nowadays. I mean, with Stan Lee dying, I guess that made the news everywhere.
Wait, Stan
but-
Lee died?
Yeah, I feel awkward now that you said that. But yeah, when Stan Lee died, that was like the biggest thing at the moment. But you don't really see like big things like they never throw it on unless it's like the evils
Engeltein,
of
were you
comic
on
books.
Earth 2 for the past couple weeks? No,
We did a
Apparently,
stream.
yeah.
sorry, I was on
Yeah,
Apocalypse
we did.
on a mission. I mean,
Yeah,
just
we
assumed
did
you were
a
Mr. Miracle because of your avatar. So how's Big Barda? doing?
that.
You doing good?
Oh hell yeah. They, we should call her Big Bardas. The whole thing with the Mr. Miracle is that originally it was me and my brother, and we were trying to find out, what's good avatars for us. And my brother's got a huge temper. He's actually a nice guy, but when he goes off, he goes off. Anybody, who's had a political debate knows this, because he's also a lefty whack job. So we figured Orion's got the temper, and I tend to look for ways around things, so to speak. So yeah, it kind of fit the personalities, Orion and Mr. Miracle. Yeah. Although I have been tagged by Wep because he was we got his DM. He sent a DM that says, "I finally figured it out." And I'm like, "What?" Englantine Ben Grimm. Wait, what? Okay, and that's what Moranya is talking about in the comment section.
I didn't follow that part.
Because the reason being is what I was told is because I look out for my friends. I kind of got a no nonsense way of looking at things. That kind of.
You can escape deadly traps.
Deadly traps. Yes. Well, I escaped marriage.
I'm actually getting married next year. So.
Not my fault. No, I joke about that. But just joking. Marriage is wonderful. You will be very happy.
So did Barda take half your stuff? No, I'm just kidding.
Barda, would you argue with her if she did?
No, not at all.
I wouldn't tangle with her.
Yeah, actually, I haven't read that Mr. Miracle series yet. When we were doing
hardcore, man, they kill.
I'm looking forward to it. Don't tell. No spoilers. I'm going to do a review and retro for it because my brother got the review when he was on the channel, and so I figured, okay, since I'm already behind, I'll just wait for it to finish and read it in one big lump.
That's probably the way to do it. But last year there was like 5 issues or so that came out in 2017, and I gave it the on my best comics of 2017. I picked Mr. Miracle. I haven't read the ending yet, but man, those first 5 I bought were crazy good.
Oh, really, Mr. Miracle. Mr. Miracle won the Spirit Award for best DC comic of last year.
And didn't they actually win an Eisner too? Yeah, I think
an actual good comic was
Squirrel Girl won an Eisner for so I don't see how that is relevant anymore.
Yeah, well, I know Eisners are trash, but they actually gave it to someone deserving, so maybe
the Spirit Awards are far more important.
How about the Harvey Awards?
Spirits. I'll still go with that. I'm not biased or anything, but hey, you know what? You guys get to vote on the Spirit Awards, and that's what's important. I am afraid that this year Iron Sights is gonna just blow up as far as best of anything.
Yeah, it'll probably win a couple Eisners, maybe a Harvey.
Yeah, well, I was talking about the Spirit.
Canales is going to be in there for sure.
Last year, the Rags team Weaponized Nerd Rage put the book down for a nomination for the Spirit Awards that we did last year, and it got it. So the Rags team sent people over, and everybody voted for that one. So it was a landslide. So I think this year is going to be the Iron Sights crowd doing the same thing.
Huh. Oh wow, that would really piss people off.
Maybe.
Has anyone read Dark Horse's like Black Hammer universe stuff?
Oh, the Jeff Lemire stuff?
Yeah.
I've read some.
Yeah, I read Black Hammer. That was really good. I got the graphic novel of that, and that was really good. I'm getting Quantum Age. There's a whole kind of, they're trying to go for a whole superhero type universe. I didn't really like one of them, so I stopped getting that one. But Quantum Age is pretty good, and Black Hammer I highly recommend if you want like kind of a darker tones, but kind of still mysterious superhero. It's not exactly superhero. It's more kind of, because it is Dark Horse, so they're trying their own thing. But it's pretty good if you want to read something a bit different that isn't Marvel or DC.
Yeah, I used to read the Alien series that they do. That's always it's a different vibe.
Yeah, I like Aliens on Dark Horse. The only one I really read was the Vampirella Aliens crossover, though, from 2016. It was kind of good, but kind of dumb in a way too, because Vampirella normally she runs around and like basically doesn't wear anything. Kind of like why half the people buy Vampirella, but they had her wearing this like purple jumpsuit the whole time because it was 2016. So they're just like, screw you, reader.
Yeah, that was better than the mom dress that they had her in later.
Oh, see, that was that same year too, because I was reviewing those. Issue 0 for Vampirella 2016 was badass. She was like wearing her old school stuff. It was all spooky and everything. And then issue 1 and 2, yeah, she had that full red dress that was like almost a ball gown.
It looked like an old woman trying to look like her daughter. The way they had it. It was really bad.
It was so unappealing, and it was just bad too, the way it was written and everything. It was so bad. It sucked because I gave issue 0 like a 5 out of 5, I think, and then issue 1 was like a 2, and then issue 2 was so bad I didn't even review it. Dynamite, man. They don't know what they're doing.
Has anyone read Bitch Planet? Now, I get so many mixed. Is it terrible, or is it social justice? Okay, because I got a few people saying it's actually okay.
No, it's not an either or. It is terrible because.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was about to say to Maranya, who brought up when Bitch Planet gets nominated for an Eisner, that nukes the idea of Eisner's being quality. At least Maranya, they're taking Kelly Sue DeConnick off of Bitch Planet and on to Aquaman. So Bitch Planet may be good from now on.
That's why I dropped Aquaman, because I heard she was coming.
Aquaman.
You got Bendis on. We should just run through this, right? She's on Aquaman. You got Bendis on Superman. You got Tom King on Batman. You got G. Willison or whatever on Wonder Woman. It's just like, okay, who else? What other characters can we throw under the bus?
Well, the Flash has been sucking recently. The G. Willow Wilson Wonder Woman wasn't horrible.
Oh, well, see, they always do that though. The first, it's the bait and switch.
Yeah, I said the same thing about Brian Michael Bendis' first issue of Superman. So,
yep, you know what he's doing.
What the hell does that have to do? Yeah,
you have to change your name, DC fans. You may have to change your name to just fans. I
know. I've been pretty salty about DC lately. Well, they delay their books, they got like 15 different movies in production. They're putting all their flagship characters with terrible writers, like kick the fan base enough times, they start to get tired of it. I just ordered a whole bunch of Alterna books.
When Tom King remembers who Batman is, he can write Batman.
Just put when he does on there.
Okay. But when he did like this last issue where he attacks Jim Gordon because he's mad at Bane, no. If there's one person Batman would never physically harm, that my eyes have not stopped rolling.
They're still rolling.
just
They're
because
doing
of that scene. It's like a freaking slot machine.
Oh, speaking of eye-rolling scenes, how about in Heroes in Crisis #2, when Harley Quinn gets the best of the Trinity?
Yeah.
She takes the magic lasso off of Wonder Woman, gets over to Batman, uses it to like tie him up, essentially like choke him, and asks him if he has kryptonite on him. He says yes, because he's compelled to. She uses the kryptonite to hold back Superman and then gets away from all three of them. It's like things that would never happen.
Ever.
Okay, that's a title I want to end. I want freaking Harley Quinn to end. I want her to go back to Joker and be Joker's freaking girl. I'm sick of this new woke freaking Harley Quinn. That's not. Whoa. Sorry.
It's just too okay. Like I could see, I don't know, like Wonder Woman is really fast too. Like how would you even take the lasso from her, let alone get away from her over to Batman, tie him up? And like Superman just stood there and didn't do anything either. He was standing right next to Wonder Woman. It's just
they did a similar thing in Damage, the last issue, where the Justice League, and I used quotation marks there, attacks Damage, but they're not taking anything seriously, and they're forgetting. The writer they have to dumb down the Justice League, which is like in this case it's Guy Gardner.
Wasn't there like Green Arrow and shit?
The animal lady,
Vixen.
the Vixen. Thank you. It's stuff like it's not actual Justice League, and they're like it's Guy Gardner again doing the whole. Oh, I remember Doomsday. I'm going to run up and punch you rather than staying back and doing what he's supposed to be doing. They have to write him stupid in order for Damage to win. Which I'm thinking, if you have to make your characters dumb in order for the other guy to look smart, it's just not good. It's not good writing.
Damage, the power scaling's all over the place. Like Poison Ivy took him down solo. She soloed Damage. So now when he can fight the whole Justice League, or like, Parasite and Giganta and Solomon Grundy and whoever else it was all at the same time, it's kind of like, where's this? Like, he can lose to Vines, but not to Superman. Like,
yeah.
We're
gonna see that next issue, in issue number 10. I hate it when they do this with covers, and this is Marvel and DC or anybody, where they'll say like, "Oh, in comes Guy Gardner, Warrior," and then the last page is going up as the Warrior again. Not that that's ever happened. I'm just using it as an example. Like, okay, you promised me this in the cover of this issue, but it's not coming until next issue, liar. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hate that.
Yeah,
I like Guy Gardner when, like, I don't know who wrote him best, but I just remember him using the Green Lantern ring to construct a car so he could use like whack somebody with the door, or like do that whole you stick your head in there, slam the guy's head in the door. It's like only Guy Gardner would construct an entire car just to slam some guy's head in the car door.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's why I love Guy Gardner. But yeah, no, they've really, I don't know what they're doing.
Well, Keith Giffen wrote him properly. I like the Keith Giffen run of JLA where they used Guy Gardner.
And Justice League Europe, was that the one where it was really funny?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was freaking
Like
hilarious. He was hilarious, isn't he? That's the Batman one punch thing.
Oh, okay, that's what that's from.
Yep, that's Justice League Europe.
I've seen that panel. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, and then later on, I think the same thing happened, but in reverse. So,
I think Guy Gardner. What'd you think when he was a Red Lantern? I thought that worked pretty well.
Didn't see it.
I didn't read that. I think I started reading that. I don't know I can't even remember, but it kind of suits him. It does suit him.
Is it because he's got red hair?
Yep.
Yep.
Know it.
That was why.
They finally did his whole father thing in the last Green Lantern. So they kind of wrapped up kind of the loose ends on the Green Lantern, so they can move on to Grant Morrison's run on Green Lantern, which the first issue was really good. So I'm holding my breath. I'm hoping the rest of it is really good. And, I mean, it's Grant Morrison, but he does have his off days or off runs, as it were.
Yeah. I thought the Grant Morrison Green Lantern was all right.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
It's
So-
pretty good.
So has anyone read Elvira comic book, Mistress of the Dark?
Elvira, I read the first
Elvira,
issue.
sorry. What do we think?
Fun.
Yeah,
Fun
it
and
is.
silly. That is the word for it. I can't say good, but I could definitely say fun.
Yeah,
like
it's good
I
to read a
like
fun comic.
I like the Simpsons parody where they just call her Booberella. And after the commercial, you can see more of my boobs. There was some
You know, if
DC, crossovers where she crossed over into DC. Actually, go ahead.
Oh, I can imagine that she would be like all for that. Like if she's, I don't know if she's still alive or not. She'd be like, yeah, she'd be laughing at that too. She seems like that kind of girl.
I don't know if they had her voice it or not. I could see them actually getting the actress.
They got a lot of people in The Simpsons.
Yeah, that was one of the older episodes too.
Yeah. You mean Honky Rink? Sorry.
Oh, was that Blackula?
Yeah, Blackula and Black Dracula and Blackula. This is a honky rink. You mean a honky rink? And then they do this. Like,
those black exploitation movies. Have you ever seen Black Dynamite where they parody that?
Yeah.
yeah, they've done that a couple of times.
Yeah.
I don't know about the animated series. It kind of got boring for me after a while.
Yeah, I just saw the movie. I thought that was pretty funny though.
Yeah.
Oh, Engeltine. You did that. Englentine, sorry.
Yeah, yeah. It's okay. A lot of people miss. But anyway, what's up?
Oh man, now I feel bad because I've said your name like 50 times.
Don't worry. I've misspelled Doug Ernst's name like 1,000 before, right after we met. So no worries. What's up?
Englentine?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking of movies there. You did your Rocky series stream the other day. That was badass. Me and
Thank you.
Hard Copy here have been talking about that kind of thing a lot. Like we did 80s action movies and 90s action movies, two different streams. So
we did we did the best of 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. Those were some of our first movie shows.
that's cool.
Oh, you
I like
beat us
that.
to it.
Yeah, a friend of mine, we reconnected. We hadn't talked in a few years, and figured, well, why don't we just get together every Sunday and chat about movies, which is what we used to do anyway. I've got a folder I've kept since I would say the late 80s, the mid to late 80s, where everybody, I worked in movie theaters for a long time. So I would write down the movies and everybody would grade them. And it was just something fun to do. And so we figured we would do a show based on the folder. And I've still got everybody's grades. And at the end, I would do a best of, which we're going to do at the end of this year as well. So we figured, what the hell, make a movie show about it. And what the hell, we're 80s teens, so might as well talk about the 80s movies because everybody loves them.
Yeah.
I remember more
Yeah,
about
it's really
90s
true.
than 80s. Because the 90s one seemed like a better stream. Because I knew more.
Yeah, not a big fan of Full Moon High, huh?
I remember the 80s stream. We talked about Commando for like
Yeah, we mostly came to Commando stream. Because it's just like, it's funny. The whole, I don't know, it was one of Arnold Schwarzenegger's, was it one of his first, like, kind of, he was the hero? And it was just funny to see, like, his interaction with his daughter and just that whole film and how it just escalates. And a lot of movies did the same thing. They just escalate. Tango and Cash just escalated after a while.
Oh, I love Tango and Cash. Tango and
now
Cash
we're gonna have this. Then we're gonna have this giant, like, but the ending will be this giant, like, shootout with this car with rocket launchers and shit on it. It's like, why? Why not?
Right.
Just, like,
exactly.
Kept escalating.
If it worked for Bill Murray in Stripes, it could work for Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell.
Yeah, I gotta watch Stripes. I haven't actually watched that film. I'm terrible.
It's a classic.
I'm a huge.
Maybe if we could do a comedy stream and then.
Yeah, we're gonna do a comedy stream. Maybe we'll get I Love Comics onto it if he's interested.
Yeah, sure. I'm okay with anything. You know, so long as the schedules match up, I'm fine. Yeah.
But man, you guys were talking about the Rocky series. I was in the chat like, oh man, I love Rocky. It was really interesting though to see what your guests had to say. A lot of, everyone had different opinions and liked different aspects of the movies and stuff. I think it was you though that was picking up on something I've noticed too, that Rocky, especially the first two, it's essentially a love story. Like everyone focuses on the punching. Yeah, it was you. Everyone focuses on the punching and the fight and like, you know, whatever, but it's really like Adrian and Rocky's development.
Yeah, the best scenes. My favorite scenes were the relationship scenes. The scene in the zoo where he proposes to her, I thought that was excellent. And I did mention something about the fact that they're talking about Rocky having brain damage from being punched too much in that movie, much less Rocky IV, where it was brought up as an actual concern. But in the first one, the driver of the loan shark that Rocky works for says, "I hear you're gonna be taking out Paulie's sister," and he says, "Yeah." And he says, "I heard she was retarded. Take her to the zoo. Retards like the zoo." And then in the second movie, he goes to the zoo and he says, "Yeah, I like the zoo." And this is after all this talk of brain damage. And I was wondering, did they do that on purpose? I was wondering about that. And it's character moments like that that really makes the Rocky series, in my opinion. If you watch Rocky Balboa, even, you see more scenes like that where he's just the affable, kind of the just a good guy. You see more scenes like that than you do in 3 and 4, I think.
Yeah, 4 was a little different. It was just the communism. I liked the training and stuff, but it just didn't really have the same feel as the first two in particular.
No,
that's one thing too, though, that is a little inconsistent. Like the brain damage thing, they really talk about it a lot in the second one, and then the third, and not really at all. And you know, it's just less and less.
Yeah, it's he's a different character in the third movie, as a matter of fact, in my opinion. But then again, that's his progression. He's more of a celebrity. He's not the bum, but he also doesn't act like he did in the first and second. The first and second, it felt like life for him was carrying him places rather than he was choosing to go there.
One thing that they never developed as much as I thought they would was the thing with the loan shark and like the whole dynamic there. Like I thought that was going to be a big thing. You know, maybe he'd loan Rocky some money and then he had to pay him back or something, but it was just kind of like something that happened, you know. I've noticed they do that too. Maybe it's just the 80s and older movies where they will like introduce plot and you think it's going to be a plot device or it's going to make something else happen, but it's just like, no, that's something that happened and now it's over and now we're moving on, which is more like real life.
It does play into Rocky V when you find out that that their attorney stole his money.
Oh yeah.
And they couldn't get it back because he looked bad because he had a criminal record because of his time with the loan shark.
Yeah.
So it did play later in the series. I really did watch all of the Rocky movies before we did that stream, so I did do my homework on them.
Oh yeah. Well, not like it's a chore. It's pretty enjoyable.
No, it's overall a very good franchise. And the last the Creed 2 was even good, so
I haven't seen Creed 2 yet. I've seen Creed 1, that was really good.
yeah.
Any thoughts on Rocky, Alex?
I live for the training montages.
For man right there, because that's got like a training montage every 20 or 30 minutes. Yeah, it's got 5 montages.
That is my favorite one.
I like the montage where he's just driving.
That was Rocky IV, and it's a 5-minute montage so they can play the entire song, and it's the entire franchise. It's not just things that are happening or his training. He's thinking about the entire franchise. It was amazingly silly. Yeah.
He can be a driver.
Oh, Driven actually has which is also directed by Sylvester Stallone, has a montage every 10 minutes. I shit you not. If you ever see it on Netflix, don't watch it because it sucks. Just for the shits and giggles, you can actually fast forward every 10 minutes and there will be a montage of some sorts.
Is that just his life? Does he just have
I-
montages?
I guess so.
There's actually-
I'm not lying to you guys. Check it out if you ever see it on live stream on a stream somewhere.
Because I was watching this comedy show, and they had this superhero called Montage Man, and what he does is his power is to make your life a montage, and so this criminal's trying to rob somebody, so he montages the criminal's life, and the criminal gets married, and he has kids, and he's an old guy, and then it comes back to the real world, and the criminal's like really, really old and dies. So he kind of sped up the guy's life, but gave him a good life at the same time. So I like to see that in a comic. That would be freaking cool.
Yes.
That would be OP.
There's a old, I don't know if it's a myth or something, fairy tale or something about a character who has, it's like a magic ball of thread, and when they pull the thread from the ball, it speeds up the person's aging. So it's like that, but it's you do it to yourself. So like you have the ball of yarn, and whenever there's something unpleasant in your life you don't want to deal with or whatever, you pull the string and it speeds you through that part of your life. So anyways, the overall moral of it, I guess, was that you don't want to do that because, yeah, you don't want to do that because you're just wasting your life, even though it's the bad parts. Like, you should live. Anyway, I don't know. It reminded me of that.
That Click movie, that terrible Adam Sandler thing with the remote control.
Oh, did they do that in that too? Where he pauses and fast forwards and rewind? Can he rewind though? Because then you just rewind and.
No, I don't think he could, but he could fast forward, and then the remote remembered, and so it started moving through the parts of his life, like work and all that he didn't want to deal with. Yeah.
So it's
sorry.
That's probably where they got the idea. Then is that old myth.
But the thing is, I've never owned a remote that remembers to skip things with like an inbuilt memory. And how would it know though at the same time? So this is a terrible film, and I'm just picking at it.
I didn't mind the scene where he slows down time though.
Oh yeah,
If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
But
You're talking about boobies.
Yeah, he's the thing. He's talking about boobies.
Just see the newer, well, relatively new RoboCop from a few years ago, where they have that drug slow-mo.
Yeah.
No, that was Judge Dredd.
That was
Oh
Dredd.
shit, you're right. Sorry, I watched them back to back. No, you're right. Yeah, Judge Dredd. Dude, the kid's theme here.
Yeah, but one was not all that great, and the other one was.
Judge Dredd was great.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that film.
Slow-mo. Imagine, that's the worst thing ever. They give it to someone and throw them off of the building.
He throws the boss character, the head of the
mom.
Yeah, and she's from Game of Thrones. And yeah, he throws her down because she has a bomb or something, and if she dies, she'll blow up the place. But it has only a certain amount of distance. So
yeah.
I mean, he didn't have to slow her down. Actually, I think he did because it slowed down her heart rate.
It isn't explained. Like
Well, it slows her perception.
Yeah.
So she's falling at regular speed, of course, but her perception it slows down. So
he didn't. So he didn't even have to do that. He was just being extra cruel.
Yeah. Maybe so now she's actually going to be able to see the ground coming up at her and feel every second of it as she's falling. Yeah.
Well, maybe he judged that as justice because that's why he was there in the first place, because they had given slow-mo to those guys and thrown them off.
Yeah.
So then he did it to her.
He is the law.
I want to watch that movie now.
Oh, it's so good. I can't believe
it really is. It really is.
Well, have you seen The Raid?
Oh, hell yeah.
It's very similar. I wouldn't say identical, but they're both brilliant films. Have you seen The Raid 2? If you thought The Raid was crazy, The Raid 2 just like hits it to 11.
Both of them are very good films. The Raid and Dread are just two movies. It's kind of like when they did the two Meteor films. It just so happened that two studios were making similar movies. The Raid came out first, but they're both really good. Very
Kano and Dante's Peak.
Yeah.
And Babe and Gordy.
Yeah, and was it
That's not even a contest.
Babe,
and then asteroid movies?
Babe,
I
put
got
the
it.
game.
Admittedly, Babe, I cry at the end. I
Babe.
am, I am touched by shows of respect in film. That's what gets me. And when he looks down, he's like, "That'll do, pig." I'm like, "Oh, not anymore." But when it first came out, I was like that. I was like, "God damn it!"
That was
Hope
a
nobody's
sweet movie.
watching. Yeah.
I just finished God of War, the new God of War. I didn't cry. Shut up. Boy. I've decided that's the way I'm raising my son if I have a son. Boy.
Just call him boy.
Yeah.
There's a new God of War comic book that they model after that game.
Any good?
Yeah, it is. It's very easy to read, though. I mean, it's one of those where it's like maybe for the first few pages, there's only a few words. The new Warning book from Image is the same way. It's just a lot of art, not a lot of words, so it goes by quickly. But otherwise, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a good read.
It's interesting because I get this manga called I Am a Hero. It's a whole lot. It's a bit of a zombie twat, but it's pretty good. I can read that faster than I can read a DC comic book because it's hardly any words in it, and it's like very it's motion and visual, and it's a freaking brilliant comic book. If you ever read, I know you probably don't like manga, but it's probably the most normie manga if you want to get into manga because it's zombies. And there's hardly any words in it, and it actually takes like half a book to actually get to the zombies. So it sets up this guy. He's actually got anxieties, so it's really good because it's also the whole because he sees things in that, and he's very he has major anxiety, but he also owns a gun, and it's very hard to own a gun in Japan. Anyway, I don't want to go through the plot. You should definitely read, but it takes me less time to read that manga than it takes me to read, say, a DC comic like Justice League. Do you think there's too much like dialogue in comics sometimes?
It depends on if it's good or not.
I kind of thought so, yeah, especially in Justice League because Scott Snyder's really wordy. But dude, I went back for my Halloween stream and was reading some of those really old from like 40s, 50s, 60s, those horror comics and stuff. Back in the day, comics used to be way wordier than they are now.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like if you go to the Digital Comics Museum, the free the domain. Yeah,
the ones that are out of copyright.
Yeah, they really do have a lot of word balloons.
Yeah, it's like reading a novel with pictures.
If it's good, you don't notice it, and it goes by quick. If it's bad, it takes fucking forever. I don't care how many words are in it. Just some books are like that. And what was the last one? It was any Brian Michael Bendis Jinx World book is like that for me.
Talking Heads.
Yeah, I get very interested in whatever is on TV, my music, whatever. If I'm reading one of those, God, I don't want to. I didn't finish The Last Pearl. I was like, I'm done. I'm never doing another Brian Michael Bendis Pearl book ever again. I'm not doing Jinx World ever again. I don't fucking care. Not reading them, not reviewing them. They all suck. I'm done because it was like fucking. The what were those Yakuza goes to Starbucks. I don't need that in my life. I just do not need that, and I'm done just fucking done with it. That's my
I kind of skip over a lot of air balloons. I just kind of get the gist and then I kind of move on, so sometimes I'll miss details, but like it depends. Again, DC's right, it depends on the comic. Something like Criminal or 100 Bullets, the dialogue is so good that you can't help but want to read all of it. But then you got things like Justice League and all that, and it's like, well, I know he's the Joker. I know what he's going to say. Maybe just stick to the action, or I don't know. But yeah, it takes me half the time to read that manga. My Hero Academia can be wordy, but it seems to be able to keep all the words in section. And then the rest is like action, and only brings in the words if it really needs to. Man, that guy's doing better than Marvel. His manga is doing better than Marvel. When it comes to freaking if you ever, I know
skills.
I don't know how you guys feel about manga, but that's definitely worth a read if you love superheroes, because it does a lot of superhero stuff. It's still a little Dragon Ball Z. So
not my cup of tea. I get told all the time, bring my daughter back on so she can bitch and moan and yell and scream about anime and such. But yeah,
I understand.
And I'm told constantly, you should watch this anime, you should watch that, and you should read this, and you should read that. And I try. I tried One Punch. Everybody recommended to me One Punch Man.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And I watched the first episode. It was all right.
A lot of sorry, keep going.
So I might watch the rest of it because sometimes they do get better as they go. But that first one is all right. It's all right.
It does. It gets really good. I'm not gonna. I mean, it's up to you if you want to watch it. I'm gonna be that guy, but it does really get good. It a lot of references to comics, but it's not like freaking Gwenpool style of freaking references where it just freaking shoves it down your throat. Like there's a character that looks very similar to Piccolo. There's a reference to Attack on Titan, but it's not like freaking punching him in the face. It's really subtle the way that he does it. I don't know how he does it. It's bloody good, but it's really good because a lot of people say, "Oh, One Punch Man, that sounds fun. He just punches him and he wins." But it's more than that. The guy is so powerful that he really hasn't faced anyone who's as powerful as him, and so he's kind of bored with life. You know what I mean? Like, what would Superman do if Superman was just like, nobody could beat Superman, and and he just like, all he would do is live in his house, make sure he gets specials at the grocery store, and that's
Superman would be perfectly happy if there was no villains or superpowered beings to deal with. He'd rescue cats out of trees and stop planes from crashing. Like, he'd be happy with that.
Yeah, I guess it's not a good analogy, but it's like he's just kind of bored with life. Because nobody can hurt him, and nobody can stand up to him because he just punches them, and he's just doing it as a hobby. He doesn't get paid for it or anything like that. And it's funny. There's one fight he has with this big like boss, and you think he's not going to beat him, and then somebody says the date. He goes, "Wait!" He punches the guy once, kills him, and then runs off. He goes, "I forgot there's a special on whatever at the shop." So it's really interesting to see that superheroes have normal lives too, and they want to get the specials down at the shop. So if you check it out if you want to keep continuing, I highly recommend it. But I like the double flip of like he's just a normal guy who's like gone through all this, but he's just trying to live his life.
I'll give it a shot. I mean, it's on Netflix. It's free-ish. So, yeah. I mean, I figure it's kind of free with all the movies and TV shows I watch on Netflix. It's prorated down to nothing. Can I bring something up that I think is kind of funny? I'm looking through my comment section right here. I just did I posted a video called more on SJWs Don't Understand Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah, I saw that.
Based on this Huffington Post thing, and in it, I do this big old rant, and then at the end is a joke. I said, "This message brought to you by the Church of Latter-day Saints." And I did that because growing up, when I was a kid and I watched all these cartoons and such, there was always some sort of message. I remember there was this one, Mr. Robinson, what a terrible mess. I broke your window with my ball, and I come to confess. And it would be this, son, you showed honor. That's what heroes are made. And at the end, it would always go, this message brought to you by the Church of Latter-day Saints. Added that in after a big ass rant about how these people were how SJWs were dumb as fuck. Yeah. And so some guy apparently got offended. I don't know what this has to do with the LDS. I was like, well, I should have saw that coming. I just pissed off the Mormons.
Uh-oh.
They're coming for me now. Yeah.
It's like Jimmy's going to be gunning for you.
Oops. Sorry, gang. Yeah, but that's what it's all about. It was just a joke based on what I used to grow up with. I don't know.
They brought a lot of messages, didn't they? We didn't really have that. I didn't grow up with religion at all. I always find it very funny. I always find it very interesting. Sorry, not funny, interesting. Because I'm more of like evidence kind of guy. I like to see and gather information. And my brother-in-law was a huge, what do you call it, creationist and religious person. And we used to have conversations all the time about it. And so I don't care what you believe in. I just find the information interesting and the why people believe in what they believe in and why they get offended by the thing.
I can give you hardcore evidence right now that both God and the devil exist. You ready?
Okay.
America Chavez. America Chavez, the comic book. America is proof that God and the devil exist because Gabby Rivera needed God's help to get that book made, but we see it as Satan's help. So
you've convinced me. I'm off to church tomorrow.
There you go. You got to get God back on our side so we don't get another America Chavez book. Yeah.
All right. They actually did that. All right.
See, she prayed to God, got herself a comic book. Yeah. Gabby Rivera is a national treasure, Eric. I agree with you.
She was on her knees. We can agree on that. When she got that comic.
No.
There are some images that nobody needs in their film. Not at all. Not at all.
Sorry about that. My bad.
Yes, you're bad indeed.
Not as bad as Gabby. No. This stream's taking a nasty turn. Sorry.
When since you guys are here, when is Aquaman opening in Australia? Is it opening like now, same as China, or?
I'll have a look.
Okay, because it's kind of annoying here that they aren't premiering Aquaman in the United States, or even like we're way behind. I think it opens here December 21st.
Yep.
Yeah.
Huh. So why is it premiering in China already? Why they get all these movies way before we do?
It's a huge market now.
Yeah, make a lot of money.
Did you know that Jack? Sorry.
It just seems weird because they tend to pirate, so they open it 2 weeks early there. By the time it gets to America, everyone will have seen it.
Because it's interesting. There's been a couple of Australian China movies that we didn't even get at our cinema. Jackie Chan made a movie in Australia. There was a movie with Alex would know this. Alex, you remember Kenny, that movie about the guy who cleaned the toilets?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, he was in a movie about giant spiders, not giant spiders, but spiders that killed people. Some Chinese, what do you call them? The rulers back in the in the 15 or back in the olden days was trying to make a serum for his son or something. But he ended up making super spiders that kill people really quickly, and that was a whole thing.
What's this movie called? Sounds awesome.
Damn it! What was it called? I'll look it up and I'll send you a message.
Okay.
But yeah, no, there's been a couple of Australian Chinese movies or Chinese movies shot in Australia which we never seen and never came or never got to our cinema screens because they were made specifically for the Chinese market, and China pretty much owns freaking Australia nowadays.
Yeah, I've heard they own a lot of your property, and
yeah, I know Australia has very strict laws on movies.
Yeah,
cut a lot of stuff out, and yeah,
that seems
China does
wrong.
too, I guess.
Yeah.
That seems wrong for any country to buy land on another country.
Yeah, but what do you expect? Our government, I don't know,
we do it in America too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
they own oil wells in Texas.
I guess they're causing a housing crunch in Canada too because they're buying up so many of the homes.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't even live in them. It's purely for financial gain. They don't live in them. There's a whole areas in China where it's like big residential areas, like suburbs, completely empty, but they're all owned.
I've heard that.
Some huge
ghost cities, huh?
Yeah, I heard that was because they didn't want people to be unemployed. I don't know if that's true or not, but
wow.
So they have them build houses.
You know, there's all kinds of information coming out that their economy isn't nearly as good as they've been saying because, you know, they're communists. They can just fudge the numbers and say it's anything they want.
I know
And
for a fact that is because I've got friends in China who tell me this all the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're buying all of our baby formula too, and then selling them back into China because apparently they can make a lot of money out of that.
They buy all our farms.
No, I had a friend. She says, Aaron, I have a friend. He has a good business deal for you. I'm like, okay, what's the good business deal? iPhones are very popular, but they're very expensive here. So he wants to give you money to buy like 100 iPhones and you can carry them on an airplane. I'm like, he wants me to smuggle? That's not a good business deal. She didn't realize what she was asking me. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be. There's no black market sale. No. And I told her what he was really asking, and she goes, "No, he is my friend. He wouldn't ask me to risk anything. He was yes, he is. That's called being a mule."
Why is it legal to take iPhones, or were they filled with something else?
No, it was he wanted me to literally buy iPhones because they're more expensive in China.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's why. Oh, okay. Geez. Some Irish bastard saying I'm not showing love. Why would I show you some love? You don't share your whiskey. I don't know.
What? Who's this?
Basically, Jay, love you, man. Not Jay Fairclough. Drunk Irish bastard. You pour beer over your cereal. Freaking Irish. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. We go after each other. It's fine. I wasn't.
Sorry.
Apparently, I was looking at the comment section, so I didn't see this comment. I was looking at mine. I didn't see this one, and Jay popped on. How you doing, brother? But not my stream, dude. We'll hit up my stream in a little bit. There has been a stream or two where me and Jay are on, and then people wonder what the f is going on because we start yelling at each other. So yeah, we're good friends, but we love to insult fight, basically, do the dozens, that kind of thing.
Now, is he on your Rocky stream or no?
No. Basically, if Jay's on one of my streams, there is no topic. It's just chatting and it's BSing. And I don't know if you guys remember after the whole debate thing and people were trying to insult me. I kept saying, guys, you got to do better.
I was actually
you got to do. Oh, hold on just a second. Let me finish the thought. I kept saying you got to do better. If you're going to try to insult me, one, don't do slurs because it's not going to come through. And two, do better. You got to be funny. You got to be something. Jay is one of my best friends on the internet, and Jay can lay me out with his words. So if you're not as good as him, you're not even touching me. You're not. You cannot insult me. You can't hurt me. One of my best friends on the internet can insult me better than anybody else. So somebody who says they hate me, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. But yeah.
They gotta come at you with something better than I hate you.
Jay Fairclough, you wish you were on my level.
I love you. Yeah, take that.
Yeah. And Jay and I Love Comics need referees when they're on the same stream. Yeah, on the same stream. If we ever meet and we fought, he would lay me out in a fucking heartbeat because like 20 years younger and actually in shape.
Just do the Mr. Miracle thing and escape from the fight.
Yeah, that would have to be the way. That would have to be the way. Anyway, you were going to ask, so go on ahead.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't going to bring it up, but since you did, I mean, that was kind of the main event everyone was talking about for quite a while there was your debate. And, Unranked is pretty cool guy. I talked to him a lot. I actually hadn't talked to you that much before. That's why Hard Copy kind of asked if you wanted to come on. But anyways, yeah, that was a big crazy huge deal. You and Unranked
Mm-hmm.
debating EVS on Rekieta Law. I watched that whole thing live, and I was just on the edge of my seat the whole time. Like, I don't know if it's just me, but it was like, holy crap, this is actually happening. You know, it was, I don't know, it's hard to imagine. And man, I don't even know what to ask you about it. Just like, what did you think? Like, you know, okay, what did you think going into it? And what did you think when it was happening? And then what did you think in the aftermath of it?
Okay, going into it, it was supposed to be a debate on like the future of Comicsgate, like where are we going to go? Because, you know, we did a couple of live streams. Both of us had opinions where we said that Comicsgate, as we knew it, was dead.
Mm-hmm.
And it was supposed to be a debate on the future, like we were going to be talking about what's best, and I stand by the fact that this is a consumer revolt of sorts, at the very least, or loose group of like-minded individuals who basically are pointing out and gathering is pointing out the troubles in the comic book industry.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, that's been shifted. Now I've got DM after DM after DM saying I'm hating the way it's happening, the way it seems that it's not about the customer anymore, it's about the creator. And I also got DMs saying, do you know about these guys? I'm scared. I actually read one of the tweets off that I got, trying not to reveal any names, about people being afraid of this war campaign.
Uh-huh.
Which I had the members of the war campaign on. I gave everybody who disagreed with me a chance to tell me why and air their grievances and everything. And they weren't scary to me. They, you know, threw a couple insults my way, but they made it funny. So, okay, cool. You get through it. But during, I realized, well, that's not what this is all about. I've heard something about the Ralph report or something like that.
The Ralph retort.
Yeah, I wasn't interested in going on anything like that because it's not a conversation. It's just yelling at each other. And I realized, okay, we're kind of on that.
I don't know. I actually listened to it at the Kill stream. It depends on who you'd be talking to, you know.
Okay. But yeah, see, I had only heard about it, so I wasn't interested. I would rather have a conversation than I would a yell fight. But while it was happening, I think EVS and myself ended up looking like assholes. I think John and Unranked came off a lot better.
Unranked kind of did the smart thing in a way of just keeping his head down.
Yeah.
Right? Like there was a long time where he wasn't really saying anything, and I didn't blame him. I do think
for a long time it was an EVS just trading shots. So yeah.
That's kind of when things had evolved, right?
Yeah, yeah. There was a bit in the middle where it was just us being dicks, you know.
So did anything like come out of that as far as, were you guys able to kind of find a middle ground or anything? Because it didn't, I mean, in all honesty, it didn't go that well, right?
What, Comicsgate for like 30 minutes? In all honesty, I guess, yeah, everything went my way. Tell you the truth.
How so?
Well, what I was saying was, it's great that we have people coming in and actually filling a void and offering comic books to people. They're basically filling they're going after the demographic or something that is not being filled, wanting comic books that are not political or not extreme political anyway, because politics have been a part of comic books forever. If you deny it, you're not paying attention. But it was the extreme, the left to the left or the right that we're trying to avoid. So we still have that. It's still, everybody's still going about their business. Doug's doing Doug's thing. I'm doing my thing. Unranked's doing his. And Ethan, and he's got his crowd, and he's still doing the Indiegogo things. I mean, everything I mentioned, hey, you know what? We could work together. You guys do your thing. We do our thing. And yeah, that's what I mentioned. I mentioned at the end, and guess what? That's what everybody's doing. Granted, there's a lot of people who are still arguing and fighting on Twitter about it, but yeah, what you gonna do?
Yeah, Twitter's just an all-day like shit fest anyway.
Yeah.
I can't even keep up
Yeah.
with who's like allied with who and who's arguing with who half the time.
Yeah, like was that guy with the clown face? Apparently, him and
Nurkish?
somebody, yeah, Nurkish, they had a dropping out with somebody else.
Cecil?
EVS.
People?
And
Yeah.
no.
They were going to do a comic
Ooh.
book together called Money Grab, and now it's cancelled
Cash Grab.
because they had Cash Grab. That's it, Money Grab, Cash Grab.
I
And
like
now it's all
like the telephone game, right? Where one person says something to the next person and then it
Oh,
goes down.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of stuff that not a lot of people know. They only heard about from the brother of the guy who told.
Yeah.
I got some information from the horse's mouth, and yeah, there's a little more to it than what people are being told right now. So yeah.
okay.
Do
And
go
then
on.
there was that.
It's
sorry.
the bet. No, I can't say. But I talked to Lim. So yeah,
You know, I've never had
and
any
he told me this.
issues with him. He's he's nice. I follow
Me
him.
either.
He
Nice
follows
guy.
me.
He was
Yeah,
here.
Lim
He
follows
was
me
here.
too.
He was here on vacation at Disney, and I met him. And real nice guy.
Oh.
Real nice guy. Yeah.
Did you get him to sign?
He actually. Well, we went to Bongos, a Cuban restaurant owned by Gloria Estefan. We went to Bongos at downtown Disney, or Disney Springs now, and he grabbed some crayons, like from the kids section. He grabbed the crayons they keep for kids because they've got paper on the tables for kids to draw on. So Tim Lim is sitting here drawing Spider-Man, Captain America, and he says, "You worked at Universal?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Do you ever see the Alfred Hitchcock show?" That's where I worked. So he drew me a picture of Alfred Hitchcock.
Wow.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And I quite enjoy that picture.
Because he follows
And-
me, and he was quite receptive. Like when I did my review of the books he did, the My Hero Macadamia, and that other one, the kids' book about the bunny. And he was quite receptive about that and answered my questions and stuff. And he follows me, which is because nobody I really admire follows me back. And yeah, no, he's a cool bloke. I don't understand why he's not even in that poster. Remember that big poster they did with all the creators?
He used to be.
Yeah, the bunny and all that used to be at the bottom, and then they took it out. And I actually tweet what happened. Why isn't he included?
I have that tweet archived somewhere. What'd they say?
Oh, I never got an answer back for that.
I'm not included in. People put out, "Oh, this is Comicsgate." I'm not included in that. I'm like, bitch, I was there in the beginning. The hell are you talking about?
You were.
But a lot of people don't know. It's because a lot of people now, they came through EVS because of his Star Wars stuff. They didn't come through the comic books and the way we brought up.
I came through. Yeah, D came through. He blocked me once, and then I sent him an email. What the hell is going on? Why did you block me? I've been following you for ages. Sorry, my mistake. And unblocked me.
Yeah, he did the same. He did the same with me one time.
Really weird.
I went. But again, we had an argument, but we're good now. We had a little back and forth, a little "Hey, how you doing? Good luck to you" kind of thing. With Weaponized being the proxy, we were hanging out and chatting. Me and Weapon. DNC sent him a tweet, and I was like, "Hey, man, tell Rich good luck and congratulations, the whole 9 yards." Because I really have no malice towards Rich. I think it's awesome he sold his book. I don't agree with some of the stuff, and I've said it about how Iron Sights was practice, only because if Iron Sights hit 300,000, it really seemed to me like he was hoping to hit it twice and just didn't understand.
You mean Jawbreakers?
How much? No, he did Jawbreakers first and then Iron Sights right after. And
300,000? I didn't know it made that.
No, I said if it made 300,000,
okay.
It wouldn't be practice. It would be another big book. So I said, I don't buy that. It sounds to me like he got into more than what he thought and is trying to work out all the stuff through Ironsight. So when it comes to shipping Jawbreakers, I told him, so yeah, I don't agree with everything, but definitely don't wish him ill. As far as Tim Lim, we went to Hollywood Studios and we had lunch together at or had dinner at the Disney Springs. Great time. Wish I could have hung out more, but he had vacation money and I'm on. I didn't. Ended up having a really nice dinner with Doug. Doug says, "Hey, I want to take you out," and we went out. I've got that on my Disney Channel, where it was a place called STK, and then just hung around. I wish you guys could see it, because at the end we're walking through a t-shirt shop and he goes, "What do you think of this? I don't know if it fits my channel." And he picks up this t-shirt and it's got this half naked chick wearing a bow and a Santa hat. And it's a pinup girl, like from the 1940s, like Betty Page kind of thing. So I actually said, "So what do you guys think?" Because he also picked up another shirt with the American flag. I said, "What do you think? Do you want patriotic Doug or porn Doug?" I kind of wish everybody could see that part, just because I would really like to get the vote. Just because I think that would be kind of funny to see who would vote for porn Doug versus patriotic Doug. But yeah, I loved meeting Tim Lim and Doug Ernst. They're really cool guys.
That's so cool. Yeah, it's funny because when there was that debate between you and EVS, everyone in the chat, well, not everyone, a fair amount of people knew who you were, honestly, but Unranked is my friend and he's been on here quite a bit, and people are like, "Who is this guy and who is this other guy? Why are they arguing with Angle or arguing with EVS?" Like, they didn't know who you guys were or where you were coming from.
It's
or
because
anything.
a lot of EVS's audience, it came from EVS doing the Star Wars video. They didn't come through Comicsgate.
Yeah,
it came through EVS's Star Wars, and then of course EVS is saying, "Well, I am Comicsgate," so a lot of people didn't know what. And I know I'm going to catch hell for this, but they didn't know what real Comicsgate was. They just know from what they've been told.
Yeah, they didn't know.
One guy.
Yeah, because Unranked.
And that's why it's.
Sorry about that.
It stopped feeling like a community as much as it used to.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, it's cool. We're all just passionate about this topic and find it interesting, so we all want to talk about it. But yeah, like you and Unranked, you guys were there when I started paying attention to this stuff quite a while ago. So to me, it was kind of like, really, you guys don't know who these guys are? Like, this is an all-star event. Like, I was hyped for that debate, but I don't know. It's just where you're coming from, I guess.
Yeah. The way I was gonna start off was not the way I ended, and it ticked me off a lot when. And this is one thing I noticed. I would say something, and then they would say I meant the opposite of what I said. And I was like, wait a second. And it started off when he said something about like, "Oh, you don't want new people here." Like, no, I never said that. What's funny is a lot of the stuff that I said and people are telling me they disagree with, I hear people saying that they agree with it now. When I mentioned that people were very afraid of War Campaign, they're sending me DMs that they're afraid these people are attacking. Now I'm seeing people on Twitter say the same thing.
Yeah.
Now, I mentioned that it should always be customers first. We need to, even EVS and Malin and all of the Comicsgate artists and writers, we need to hold them to the same standard we want to hold Marvel and DC on.
See, that's what they weren't getting, I think.
But now they're saying it in Twitter. Now they're saying it. So, like I said, everything that I mentioned is coming to pass. So, yeah, I'm okay with it.
Well, I did think it was a little ironic that, Unranked put out that video that said Comicsgate is dead. You guys debated and restated it. And then, like, the next day, EVS said he's leaving Comicsgate. So it was like, okay.
But here's the thing. We didn't say it was dead. It was the Comicsgate as you know it is dead, meaning it's changing. So what does everybody say? "Oh, you guys are wrong. This is just Comicsgate Phase 2. Wait a second. Hold on a little bit. Comicsgate, as we knew it, is dead. Here comes Phase 2. Got yelled at for saying what we said, but then everybody proves, especially Unranked Chevron, right. So, hello.
It's gone Super Saiyan.
Say again?
It's gone Super Saiyan. Sorry.
Oh, okay. That's Dragon Ball Z, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Irish Gate. but yeah, so that's just one of those things. I mean, if you are saying, well, it's not like it was, now here comes two, then you're just saying what Unranked Chevron was saying is right, because he didn't say Comicsgate is dead. He said it's the way we knew it, it's dead, meaning it's changed. It's not the same. Whether you think that's a good thing or bad thing, that's up to you. But now that everybody's saying, oh, it's in a phase 2, he's absolutely, you just said he's absolutely right. So yeah, like I said.
Well, it shows how disjointed they are too, because if anything, I'd say we're in phase 3. There was like the initial phase, which was basically the golden age when everyone liked each other. And then there was what I would call phase 2 is when Jawbreakers launched. And then it was all of a sudden the shift towards creators and Indiegogo, which for better or worse, that in my opinion, that was the second phase. And now we might be in a third phase of this, I don't know, war campaign.
Well, come out.
Infighting.
Yeah, it doesn't feel as tight knit as it used to. A lot of people came in, like I said, through EVS, so they only know what he tells them. But you could see it as phase 1 was everybody getting together. Phase 2 was Milkshake, because really,
man, you are an OG. Because for me, Milkshake's like when I came in.
Yeah. No, we were there before.
Before that, yeah.
Now it depends on how far you want to go, because obviously Doug has been doing this for 10 years. He was on a blog. I always count the YouTube, because that's when the communities we became a community, and from there it was Cummings, Frugal.
Yes,
Cummings and Frugal were there first. Doug and myself. Afterwards, Mim decided to get into the comic book game. I don't know if he did around that time, but he was already doing politics, he said. And then DNC jumped on, and of course, that the rest is history from there. And then
that
you
one
hit,
black guy.
I know who you mean.
Yeah, I listened to Cummings and him, and then DNC popped up in my,
just some guy. That's what you're thinking of.
Yeah, just some guy.
Just some guy came on after Milkshake. I'm one of the ones that introduced him to the group.
Oh, okay.
I found, because I used to look for, and I used to look for new YouTubers, and at one point I was even letting people put videos on my stream that would advertise for their channel. Up until I had to, because of all the bullshit that's been going on with the flagging, I had to delete all of those videos. But for the longest while, Elijah the Aramon had the most popular video on my stream, on my channel. Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. I was pissed at him for like, God darn it, I want it. Not really mad, but you know. But yeah, I'm one of the ones that say, hey guys, you got to check out this Just Some Guy. He's good. And
yeah, he's pretty cool. I like his stuff.
He took off. He took off. I love that.
What's he got, like 50,000 subs?
Nah, he's in the 20s. As far, if you don't count, I think it's DNC, then EVS, then I think it's Weaponized Nerd Rage, Just Some Guy, Yellow Flash.
What happened to Cummings?
He fell off.
Gone.
He's loaded up again, though.
Yeah, he's gone full on political, and kind of he's dropped the Comicsgate thing. The whole EVS thing just pissed him off. He's like, okay, whatever, I'm out. A lot of people are pulling away from Comicsgate now because of the bullshit. Oh, and Maranya, by the way, mentioned that she's been here forever and a day and has flown under the radar, and she has been.
Sorry. And then there's Nerdetta. Have you guys seen Nerdetta? I always see her pop up. Yeah.
She's newish. She's newish. I had her on one stream, and she's more than welcome to come on some others. We don't see eye to eye for everything, but yeah, come on in. I'm more than happy to have people who disagree with me on, so long as it's a conversation and not a yell fight.
She'll be on my channel on Sunday with Marmaduke and who else? Unranked Chevron.
Marmaduke's been around forever and a day.
Yeah,
Jay's been.
Pop up.
Now, see, Marmaduke's been around forever and a day, but his channel's newer than mine.
Jay's been around as somebody who will laugh at the whole fucking process, the whole Comicsgate thing.
Who?
Jay Faircloth, the guy in the thing. He's been around since the beginning too, but he just laughs at the whole thing. So, yeah, fuck on. I mean, seriously,
At this point, you might as well laugh at it. Like,
it really is.
If it what quote the Joker, if it wasn't so pathetic, I'd laugh. I think I'll laugh anyway.
I had that Jason, what's his name guy who tears apart our side of comics guy. I said you could write a book. Yeah, I told him you could write a book if you did both sides. This whole thing is so ridiculous.
Have you seen his tweet chains where he's replying to himself like 30 times and each one? It'll have like 1 or 2 likes. It's been there for weeks and he's linking people to it and there's no one likes it.
Yeah, hey, I've got tweets that nobody hits like on either, so I can't say anything.
I've got
England
tweets
Teen was young when I first found his channel. Youngish. That's funny. I think it's funny how I'll talk to people and then I'll say something like, "Yeah, I'm this old man," and people are like, "Really? How old? 48? Wow, you don't sound that." But
you do to me.
I sound like a 50-year-old. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. No, you sound like a 48-year-old, not a 50, a 48.
I figured you were
my voice has gray hair on it.
Yeah,
that's the way it works. Yeah, just like my palms. The but no, it's been a lot of fun up until recently. A lot of people are just kind of backing off. Hey, you know what? I don't want to be a part of this group anymore because of all the fighting and it's
a lot of people have already left and then new people come in. I'm sure you've seen it.
I stopped following DNC after he blocked me. I was like, no, yeah.
But he unblocked you.
Yeah, he unblocked me, but I just didn't feel like following him. And you know,
never block an Aussie.
Yeah, yeah, we do not forgive.
Yep. I stopped following when I found out about the blockchains. I stopped following DNC and EVS because people are going to retweet anyway, so I'll see it. And that way I can still keep an eye on or talk to all the comic book creators.
That's how it is.
He had a blockchain, did he? He had a blockchain. Is that how I got blocked?
Yeah. Could be.
Man, I thought he was above that.
Oh, I'm not saying DNC did the blockchain. I mean, like the comic book creators will do a chain on them too. And if you're following them, you get blocked from the artists and writers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because this woman was going on about something about what EVS was saying, and I just tweeted to counter it, and then I find out I'm blocked from him. I was like, well, that's weird. And I sent him an email. What's the hell? Because I have been following from the very beginning. I remember Milkshake. I mean, I think it was the first comic book channel after Cummings that I've ever watched. Because I think I was a little frustrated with comics too, because I hadn't read a comic in freaking a couple of years. And so when he blocked me, I was like, wow, that's freaking uncool.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, it's his personal decision, I guess. I shouldn't get too offended. It's up to him, not me. But it still feels like, So I just stopped following.
I accidentally blocked somebody. I meant to mute them because they were. It was one of the superhero movies. They were spoiling things, so I muted. Yeah. I wanted to mute, but I accidentally blocked them. Whoops. So sometimes it's just by accident. Because when I would say, "Hey, why do you have this guy blocked?" I'm like, "Holy shit! I didn't mean to block you, dude. Sorry." Yeah, because I just wanted people. I forgot it. Maybe it might have been like something like Justice League or something like that. Because I know it was a while ago. But yeah, I don't like spoilers for movies. Hey Jay, if you come out here, man, I'll take you to Universal and you could tell me just how un-Irish our Irish pub is. I would love to hear that. Take you for a few drinks. That'd be fun. But
take me. I want to go to Universal Studios.
Come on in. Let's do the Harry Potter stuff. It's a lot of fun. The Simpsons ride's cool. Men in Black. I'll show you guys how to actually kick ass on that.
I want to go on the Simpsons one. I'm a huge Simpsons fan.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It really is. They do Springfield up all right too. And they've got a Duff Gardens. They got a Duff Brewery there. So you can actually have, and they've got a Moe's Tavern, so you can sit down, have a Duff, and even watch the black and white TV. It's a lot of fun.
It's not black and white.
It's just dirty, right?
And I know I saw that. It's just really dirty, but in the bar, it is in black and white. I love that. Oh, and he just cleans off and it's in color. Yeah.
Duff beer for me. Duff beer for you.
Like 12 of that show were so good.
My favorite line from that episode where they go to Duff Gardens is at the end. You know, she had drunk the water and it went into the LSD trip. And at the end, he goes, "Oh, did you have fun?" She just goes, "Can't talk, coming down." I thought, oh, Simpsons is so awesome. It is
Take
so
these.
fucking awesome.
And these and these. Thank you, Doctor. Oh, I'm not a doctor. I am the Lizard Queen.
Oh yeah.
That is a really good show.
Isn't
But
that a
yeah, if
reference
you
to
guys can
David
make it
Bowie?
over. I've got a well, no, the Lizard King was Jim
Patrick.
Morrison from The Doors.
Oh,
So,
he also Patrick Starr says it in SpongeBob at one point. I am the Lizard King.
it's from Jim Morrison.
Of course. Okay.
C, D, and C. It was from Jim Morrison. God, get it right.
Same difference, really. Patrick, Jim Morrison.
Same guy.
Same guy, really. Same personality. Same life.
So, what's
But,
the best comic book movie this year?
The best comic book movie this year is Aquaman.
Hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
I would go with Infinity War so far. And that was badass.
Okay, other than Infinity War. That's too easy.
Yeah. Take that off the table. Ooh, what do we have? We have Black Panther. We have Deadpool.
Ant-Man.
Just a bunch of
Ant-Man.
Marvel stuff.
Yeah, DC needs to step up their game.
Are you guys excited for Shazam?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Sweet.
Shazam.
Absolutely. I'm a
It's
huge
going to be
fan.
better
of
than
Shazam.
Aquaman.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully. I hope so because I want every subsequent movie to be better than the last one. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, damn, I'm so jazzed for this freaking movie. I don't know, man. These last two, this rebirth, the run of Aquaman has made Aquaman my favorite DC character.
Wow.
I look forward more to his book than anything else. I've been enjoying this Drowned Earth story. It's just, please, Kelly, don't fuck it up. Please don't.
That's like asking a giant wave not to splash.
Don't get me
down.
wet. You can come over, but just don't get me wet. Yeah.
That's not what I meant. But no, yeah, Aquaman's been pretty solid. I can't believe I'm such a huge. I didn't know I was a huge Green Lantern fan, but I'm a huge Green Lantern fan. I've got so much Green Lantern, graphic novels and comics.
Green Lantern's always good.
I probably got more Batman than anything else. Oh man, have y'all hit up Ollie's, by the way? Ollie's Bargain. I know y'all. Yeah, you're in fucking Australia. Why am I asking that?
We don't have them where I am either.
Apparently Marvel dumped a whole bunch, but before that, DC did.
Mm-hmm.
And I cleaned up on Showcase. I got Starman Omnibus 1 and 2. I got a shit ton of Batman. I got Lois Lane, Lex Luthor, and Robin the Boy Wonder 75th anniversary hardcovers. I got a Carmine Infantino hardcover collection, Neil Adams Batman Volume 1, 2, 3 hardcover. And the most I spent was like $7 on any of these. It was, my gosh. The Art of Brian Boland. Just incredible buys.
Man, you're lucky. When I went to America, I kind of went overboard at the comic book store because it's so expensive here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can understand it.
Sorry.
Come on down. Come now. And I'll take you to Ollie's and then to Harry Potter Land and all that kind of stuff. You can really clean up. I went to the Ollie's sale, and most of it is comics from the last 5 or 6 years, but there are some reprints of some 70s and 80s and 90s books. There's one I'm going to go get. It's like it's got Code of Honor and Ruins and all that kind of stuff, so got to pick that up. And Maranya, yeah, you know what? I asked them as well. I said, if you guys want to get me something for Christmas, get me like a $25, $30 coupon to Ollie's, a gift card to Ollie's. I can, with that much money, I can freaking clean up. Yeah.
Is that a franchise? Is that a franchise over there?
Yeah, it's like a outlet store. Like when the big shops can't sell it for full price, they buy it cheap and then sell it for less. So
I wonder if part of their surplus came from Hastings closing down, because we didn't have Ollie's, but we had Hastings, and those all went out of business.
Oh, I know that they got a whole shit ton of stuff from Toys R Us.
Oh wow!
So yeah,
When
that's what
Hastings
they do.
went under, I picked up a bunch of their floppy comics, like the what was it? The JSA run, those with all those Alex Ross covers.
Oh yeah, I did too. I got that as well. Yeah, and
really
the Jeff
nice.
Johns run is those were on sale as well. Yeah.
It was crazy though, because they were like 25 cents an issue or something. I was like, "Are you guys sure?" It was crazy how cheap they were. I've never picked up books for so little, because it was like 50%
Oh,
off.
you got the flop.
The
individual. I was talking about I got the trade paperbacks for like $2.99 each. One Justice Society 1 through 7 of the Jeff Johns run, and then the one that came after it. I got like I think 1 through 4, something like that, and they were like $2.99 each.
I got the first like 15 issues of floppies, and it was I think I got like 30 plus comics overall, and it was cheap. It was like $10 or something. It was crazy because it was 50% off everything, and then like 25% off all comics, and then some of those comics were already at sale price, like $2 to begin with. So it was just like criminal how little they were charging, but they were going out of business. So
I just imagine DC United like skipping through the aisles, laughing hysterically with all these comics in his hands.
in a way, I mean, I was happy to buy them, but that was the place I bought comics from. So now that it's gone, like I have to order them online essentially.
I ordered from the comic book shop to get some back issues. Maybe I should just go digital, but I don't really like digital. I like the solid comic, the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smell.
Yeah. I only like digital for making like reviews online, with the software, then it's nice. But otherwise, as far as reading, I'd rather have a floppy.
Yeah. And I can take it on the train. I guess I could put it on my mobile, but like because it takes half an hour for me to get home.
The mobile would be easier on the train, right?
Yeah. But I normally takes half an hour to get home and to work there and back. So after work, I go to the comic shop, grab my comics, and then just sit on the train and read them all. I normally get through them all. When people say I never have the time to read comics, it's like, what are you doing with your time? Living a life? Having kids? Come on. But yeah, no, I have plenty of time on the train, so I'm able to get through pretty much. That's why I'm pretty up to date with everything.
Oh, I am 2 away from 10,000 now. That's nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I think that's subscribed.
What's the trick there to getting subscribers? Like, how'd you do that?
A lot of nude scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gotta suck a lot of. No, in all honesty, it's be consistent. And
I mean, I've been doing that. I post videos every day.
And that's the big C. There's people that there are people that have gone faster than I have, and one thing is know the audience and speak to them. One of my problems, the reason why my channel hasn't grown as much, is that sometimes I speak against the audience. I would rather, because it's part of my audience loves the drama part of it, loves the comics. So I'm kind of split. And whenever I question Comicsgate, whenever I do that, I lose subscribers. So yeah, you want to be if you're going to do a live stream, try to do it at the same time. If you're going to do videos, try to make sure that they're out at the same time. I've been falling short of that recently, but make sure that you're doing a video or two a day. And just be true, man. Don't try to be something that you're not, because people will pick up on that very quickly.
Yeah, I find it really hard, especially when you have to make content every day to be disingenuous. Like I just get tired of that so fast. Even if I know it's going to get a lot of views, certain topic, if I don't want to talk about it, I almost never do.
Yeah. Well,
Sweet.
Or you
also,
could just do. Sorry.
also you can't. I used to do 5-hour live streams on a regular basis, and you cannot do that without your real life pouring through in some way, shape, or form.
Right.
It's kind of funny. I joke about the fact that, because everybody was talking about, oh, the war campaign, they're going to dox you. My brother did that.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Didn't you say that?
yeah. I mean, if they want to
brother.
dox me, just watch my live streams. What are you're going to find out everything. And that's just because if you do enough live streams, your life is going to come out. I exaggerate some of the things, but okay, I told the truth about the marriage in Thailand. I told the truth about everybody knows I'm in Kissimmee and I live near Disney, and just
Yeah,
comes
you're
out.
right. I didn't think about all
I'm
that.
very
but, yeah,
jealous
get
of
some
you
good
because I've
stuff.
been watching videos about this couple that go to Disneyland all the time. It's like their job or something, and they check out the new rides and stuff. And it's like, oh man, I wish I could live that life. Although you probably get bored of Disneyland after a while.
Not even a little bit. I actually have a second channel where I do Disney. The funny thing is we do face reveals all the time over on that one. Yeah, and now I'm back with my first wife, and everybody, if you watch those, her name's Gail, and you've seen me and her on.
Maybe
as well
that's
as
the
my
channel
children.
I've been watching. You didn't do the Fast and the Furious ride. You didn't get a sneak peek at the beginning, did you?
Yeah, I did. I
think
did
I've been watching your other channel without even realizing it.
I did the whole ride for Fast and the Furious. It sucks. That is a legitimately bad ride. Like some rides, like we have one based on Jimmy Fallon's TV show out here, and it's not good, but I can enjoy myself on it. Fast and the Furious just flat out sucks.
Oh.
And I got, because there's stuff happening on both sides of you, but the way the train's built that you're on, the tram, it's just you can't see everything depending on where you're sitting. It's really bad. It's just a bad ride. But yeah, I've got that. If you're a patron, I got the entirety of the Boys to Men concert that they had when they were here in Epcot. I have the entirety of the Air Supply concert that was here. I'm going on Tuesday to record Neil Patrick Harris doing the Christmas lights thing, where basically they make Christmas trees with the singers, and they read the story of Christmas as they do songs and everything. So you'll have Neil Patrick Harris reading off the story, and then he'll introduce a song, and then he'll come back and he'll read more of the story, and they'll do another song and so forth. It's very popular here in Epcot, and and it's NPH, so we have to get it. I told them if there's one person I'm seeing, it's NPH. I'll plop myself down and wait 5 hours if I have to, just to get that. So
That does sound
really
cool.
exciting. Everybody's living a more exciing life than me. I just finished God of War. That exciting as my life got.
Are you kidding? My whole day today, I was complaining because I was like, damn, I can't afford to. Everybody's talking about this Red Dead Redemption, and Spider-Man came out, and I'm still on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 and everything. And and my brother goes, "Oh, I got an extra Xbox." Like, you've been in the same goddamn house for 2 years, and because he's been sitting on this thing 2 years waiting for them, because he ordered one. Well, he ordered one, and then they sent him two by accident. And he sent them a message, they were going to send him a return box. They never did. And I said, and he goes, "Well, I don't know if I want to get rid of it, because what if they send?" I said, "It's been 2 years. They're not going to do anything." So he sold it to me for $50, and I got an Xbox One for $50. Merry Christmas to me. And Injustice 2. So that's what my whole day's been Injustice 2, man.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid game. I like that. What's your favorite character? My go-to is either Supergirl or Green Lantern.
I'm doing the story first. I like to watch. I wanted to see the story, so I just got to Brainiac just invaded.
Yeah,
So
it's
that's
really
where I
those
am.
stories are
Yeah.
really good. Like Injustice 1 had a
Yeah, they
really solid story. If you've played Injustice 1,
Mhm.
if you haven't, I highly recommend it. The story is really solid. I like the idea in it that as the heroes from the Earth 1 or Earth 2 go into the Injustice world, and one by one, and then the big one, Superman, is right at the end. Because we know if Superman got into that world, the whole war would be over in seconds because he's freaking Superman. And the way it builds it up, and then Superman comes in, and it's over. They defeat the evil Superman. They stop all of it and all that. And then Injustice 2 follows up with even better story. And the voice of
No
Brainiac
spoilers.
is... Oh, okay. Well, the voice of Brainiac is... what's his name from the Reanimator? Have you seen the Reanimator?
Yeah.
That old horror
Yeah.
movie?
What's his name? The guy who was... Yeah, it's an old horror film with
Oh,
the guy
really?
who did
That's
the
him.
voice of the Question in Justice League Unlimited. Oh, I can never remember his name.
I just know about it from Red Letter Media. I think they talk about it.
Wow, I'm actually impressed now. I've got to, because I got to check this out. This is how much of an Iron Man fangirl I am, says Moranya. I bought the PC version of Iron Man video game that came out around the first movie. Never played it, but it looked cool, and it was Iron Man. I heard that game is not very good, Moranya.
Yeah, it is terrible.
Can't be as bad as
But
Superman
yeah, I'm
64.
happy that I can finally play Batman Knight Armor, whatever his name was. I know the spoiler already, and I kind of figured it out, but because I was like, well, it looks like Under the Hood, but with this Arkham Knight guy instead of, oh, okay, I get it.
Jeffrey Combs. Jeffrey Combs does the voice of Brainiac. Oh man, he has that voice where you know he's the bad guy. You know he knows more than you know, and he's gonna mess you up.
I love that version of Brainiac too. They did that. They did a movie, an animated, and I was like, that is how Brainiac should always be. Brainiac is DC's
Superman Unchained.
Yeah, that's it.
Or Unbound.
He should be DC's Galactus. Considering he was shrinking cities, he should be DC's Galactus. He should be like a force rather than the Coluan robot that was created to simulate and infiltrate humanity, which is his origin story.
Talking about that, have anybody read the crossovers they've been doing lately? Batman, DC crossovers, Batman, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, He-Man, Injustice.
Haven't read the most recent, but yes.
Yeah, they're really good, actually.
They are.
Anyway.
Yeah, I like the artwork's good. The stories have been awesome. That Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Batman 2 was very well done. Highly recommend.
And the He-Man one is bloody good. I didn't think they could do it, but they did it, and I'm actually quite impressed. You thought it would be a bit hokey, but man, I can't wait till the next issue.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah, but no, Jeffrey Combs does the voice of Brainiac, and it's literally the best part of the entire game.
You're big on voice actors, huh?
I I want my villains to be villains.
I was impressed with the faces. Actually, the fact that they're not all the same face. A lot of times, if you look, all the women kind of have the same face, and all the men have all the same faces in video games. This time around, everybody has a different face. It's not just like Barry Allen isn't Bruce Wayne with a blonde hair. Catwoman looks different than Harley Quinn. I even in one scene you see Harley Quinn and Black Canary walking away from Green Arrow, and you see they've got different body shapes.
Yeah, like you were weren't looking at their butts. Admit it.
Well, actually, I was looking at the fact that that Harley Quinn had short legs and a long body, and Black Canary had long legs and a short body, and that's how people are. And I was very impressed with the shapely asses. Yes, you are right. Yeah.
But no, it's a pretty solid game. They did really well. I hope they do another one. There was
Yeah, me
rumors
too.
of another crossover with Mortal Kombat, but I don't know where that went.
And yes, I would love to have another Ultimate Alliance game as
I
well.
never played any of those. I heard they were good, but I never.
Yeah, good games. I
Because it's
like
like
the first one's better than the second one, but they're still solid games.
okay, I might have to check
But
them
next
out.
up is Superman. I'm actually going to be talking about Superman.
Is it the video game?
Yeah, either in a video or a
Rocksteady
live
one.
stream.
I heard
Is
they
that the
announced
new
that.
Rockstar? Is it Rocksteady? Sorry, is it Rocksteady who did Batman Arkham Asylum? They're doing the Superman movie.
New
Game.
game, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
So
DC,
hopefully
they don't want to do a Superman movie. They're too busy doing Blue Beetle and Birds of Prey and everything else under the sun. But Man of Steel 2, nah.
Well, they lost their star, and yes, of course, Blue Beetle was just announced.
You know, Henry Cavill's more than willing to do Superman. It's just WB isn't giving him any roles to play. So he and his manager both said they'd come back, and they never left. It's just that that whole thing was essentially like a story about nothing. They're
Mhm.
like, Henry Cavill isn't going to play Superman anymore. There aren't any scripts to play Superman. Like, that's why. It's not because he doesn't want to.
I'm not really sold on him being Superman. It might be more of the script than anything. I mean, I love him in every other thing. I thought he was brilliant in Mission Impossible, and literally want him to be the next Bond after watching The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I'm still not convinced on his Superman. Maybe it's just the script or the director.
I absolutely am, and I will argue this point.
Yeah.
When he was dark and broody Superman for Zack Snyder, he did great, and when he had to be the more hopeful Superman in what's his name? Yeah, in Justice League for Firefly guy, he was great. So he can play Superman in either way. So yeah, I'm all for Cavill as Superman.
Yeah, he really had the look down too.
I just wish they got out of Batman with Ben Affleck before everything went to pot. I thought he would have made a great man. You do $100 million Batman. You don't have to make it a $300 million. You do it where he's being a detective. Have real Zaz, be the villain, or maybe Scarecrow or somebody. You actually have him.
Villain.
Well, yeah, a detective story would be good, but you would want at least a scene like you did in BVS. And I was watching Justice League the other day. I got it during the Black Friday, and I was watching it. And what occurred to me is one of the things that was missing is the BVS fight, the fight with Batman in the warehouse.
Yeah,
you didn't have a moment like that. That was what was missing. In Avengers, every character had their moment where you saw that character be badass. Justice League didn't have that.
You noticed in Justice League, though, Batman's like the wuss Batman. He doesn't do anything other than cry and say he did everything wrong in the last movie. So he couldn't have a scene like that because that's not his character.
But you notice in Avengers, all the characters have their moments, but they have it with another character. They all have like Captain America or Iron Man or whatever. They never have a scene by themselves. They always have a scene with another character or another characters. So they're growing as people, but with the other people around them. And I think that's why it makes Avengers really good, is because they're growing as not as individuals, but as a team.
Yeah, Avengers does that well.
I would go and say that Captain America had the scene where he stands up and he inspires the cops, and he has his little fight scene there. Iron Man had his bit with Loki, where first is Tony Stark, he stands off again in a play of words, and then his popping up, his name is Coulson, had that moment. Thor and Hulk, you're right. Hulk had the I'm always angry moment, which, come on, that was the rousing thing right there. Guy had his bit where he blew Loki off of his little mechanical flyer. Yeah, everybody, and Thor had the moment where he lightninged all the ships out of the sky.
Yeah, they do a good job of giving everyone something to do, don't they?
Mm-hmm. And Black Widow had her jumping from one to the other to get to the, So
And her
yeah.
introduction when she's being interrogated by those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that scene's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw it the first time, I was
He was
like,
about
oh,
to
no.
give me everything. Well, you were, weren't you?
That was cool. Hey, the Black Widow movie, right? Isn't that in the works?
Yep.
See, I was one of the few. Well, I don't know about that, but I was one of the ones that was kind of a proponent of that. I always thought she ought to have her own movie, but I know a lot of people weren't really into it either. So, be interesting to see what happens. I kind of think Wonder Woman doing well gave them hope for it, but I don't know.
Yep. Yep. And yeah, Maranya's bringing up the Fury had a scene. Now, my favorite Fury scene was when they Loki's men invade the bridge. One thing that I thought was really smart that they let the character do was you let the first person walk by you, you attack the second person because the first person's not looking at you. So he attacked the second guy to take out the first one, and then he took out the guy that was in his hands. See, because if he took out the first guy cut through the door, the people behind him would be aware of it, and they'd be more apt to. I thought that was smart. That was a smart choreography, I should say. Yeah,
That was a good scene.
Yeah, dude, it is getting late for the old man. I gotta get going.
Hey, I really appreciate you coming on to my channel and talking. It was really cool.
A lot of fun. You should go the other way sometime. Join one of our live streams.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
A lot more F-bombs I'll have to warn you about, but
I can handle it. I'm a big boy.
All right. Anyway, you guys have a good time, man.
Cool. Thanks again. And everyone out there, thanks for watching and listening and being a part of DC Fans United.